Sinking anesthetic as hollowing out falls. Let the psychotomatic whole shatter your light. Give
Hello and welcome to the AVGL Summer Series Fortnite Grand Finals presented by Ashland University. I'm here with Zach to take you through all the action for the past 3 weeks, three qualifiers, resulting in the top 35 collegiate duos from across the nation here to compete today for their share of $25,000. Zach.
That's right, folks. We have a good show for you today. I'm mostly excited to see the duo that won the April Anarchy, Mello and Frosty, see if they can do an amazing comeback and go again and win it today.
Thing is, it has been a long time since April. A lot has changed in the game. Some duos might have switched up. I see a lot of partners have changed. Some duos are no longer competing. We'll just have to see how the field shakes up with all the new map changes and item changes in the game. The format, however, has not changed. 41 points for a win is still on the board and 2 points per elimination. Very top heavy point format. Want to be making it to those late game situations to get the most points possible. We've played 6 games today, alternating between East and West servers. Team I'm looking out for personally, a little biased. Boys Biggs and Mars out of University of Maryland. I go to University of Maryland. I believe these are the most experienced duo in the entire event. I think they could take it home today.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, like I said, Mello and Frosty still have a good shot at it. I mean, honestly, it comes down to what team stays in. Like you said, points at the end of the game are big. Just try to stay alive for endgame, and you'll be good to go for the points. And those are big points to try to rack up.
And with only 70 players in the lobby, teams don't really have to worry about that first zone surge. So they can play maybe more edge map, opens up more possibilities for POIs that some people might not think is viable in a 100-person lobby due to storm surge concerns. We'll have to see how that plays out today.
Definitely. Um, the storm surge is going to be, getting your tags off at the beginning might be big as we go later on in the game. Making sure to get your heals as there are no more harpoon guns so that when you try to look, it's just not going to be as liable to help out.
Harpoon change is a big change. Definitely hard to get those endgame refreshes, but another big change that has come through, addition of jump pads back in the game. Haven't been in the game for a few seasons. A lot of movement hasn't been in the game for a while, and to see that in addition to the peppers that have been in for the last few seasons, teams have a lot more opportunities to make it into those later circles. Maybe seeing more stacked teams towards those last zones, that final surge in the 7th zone, maybe hitting a little hard.
Definitely. The launch pad techniques, the old school ones, those are going to be huge advantage to some people. The peppers, like you said, those are going to be huge too. Holding on to those are going to be huge to hold on to. If you don't have a pad, that's a good mobility. Even the cars being in the game, since those have been added, they've been great use to help out mobility.
Important to think about with the East-West format switching. You have to wonder if some of those West Coast teams might be able to pull out an advantage due to the ping differential on when they're playing on West Coast. A lot of teams on East Coast seem to be very successful in AVGL tournaments, but some of those West Coast games have been frequently taken away by those West Coast teams, like the Texas team Derpy and Dylan is fishing. Incredible players. Important thing to look at. Only top 4 duos will make money in this tournament. First place being a grand prize of $1,000 split between the duo, down to second place being 750, third place 500, and fourth place $250.
Yeah, definitely. Like you were saying about the West Coast advantage, if those West Coast players can stay alive half of the game and make end zone and stay alive till top 10, you're gonna be going straight through, and you should be in a good spot, especially when those servers flop. If all the West Coast teams do really well coming into the end game, I honestly have no words. I think they have the best shot of winning today.
And those victory royale points are a lot. 7 points is the difference between second and first in each game. We're going to take it over to a break. We'll catch you with all the action in game 1. Back at ya. Gonna be heading into game one in just a moment. On the East Coast servers, first game, each game will alternate. Game two will be on West, game three will be on East, etc. Hoping to see some teams, maybe not sure if anyone's contested, could be a big game changer. Teams might have to figure out their drop spots. People triple contest somewhere, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's always that team that will contest other people. It's going to be a big first game to see if anyone gets contested. If so, they might have to switch up drop spots coming into the next couple games. And you definitely, if you're definitely East or West Coast, you don't want to.
Alright, we're gonna hop on board. We're with Bussa, going to one of these new satellite locations in game. This is new, added this season. It has a launch pad for good mobility. Well, this is a little bit of split drop. There wasn't anything here before in the previous season. Brand new option on the map for looting. It looks like his teammate is landing with him. There's another house to the south of here. But there's also the addition of the pulse rifle, which I believe you can get from the scan chest in this building. Very similar to the Stark rifle we saw 3 seasons ago. Allows you to hip fire for normal AR action, but ADS and shoot for long range tags similar to the infantry rifle.
Yeah, definitely. I was watching some of my buddies play the other day, and they posted. Here we go. Here we got Bronos and Duke landing mid where the orb used to be. Looks like they're going towards. Looks like Bronos found a launch pad. You know, he seems to be going to the bridge by Weeping Woods.
2 launch pads. This is huge. Bronos and Duke, definitely a big pick for performing well in this tournament today. Bronos is one of the leaders in arena points. He's been on his grind this season. Pretty incredible to see what he's done. To see 224,000 arena points. FNCS hasn't even started yet. It's like a month or two into the season. He has been about his grind, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him take it all home today.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great player all out. With the 3 minis, he's got 2 bigs, a med kit, blue pump, and a sniper. Especially with those 2 launch pads, those are going to be huge for mobility in the end game. It looks like he's got another launch pad, another big pot to use. He's searching for.
Yeah, they have a lot of loot.
Yeah, definitely.
This is a huge split. The entire center destruction area, along with the bony burbs. A lot of launch pads. We know Bronos already has a launch pad. This loot's pretty good. No AR, kind of interesting. Don't know if he's holding a snipe. Snipe is good for search tags. Hasn't been in the game for the last few seasons.
Yeah,
interesting to see how they play this out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely surprising that no one contested Boney. Unlikely for most times to see Boney not be, you know, contested. Looks like he's filling up his card to try to.
There's a lot of teams that like Boney. There is a decent lack of metal in Boney, unlike over here in Slurpy Swamp. There are 2 teams here, Seven and Rocky, another University of Maryland team. New duo. Seven had previously played with Bonix in April Anarchy, where they placed 3rd. Rocky, I don't know if he played in April Anarchy, but this is a new duo being formed. They have been practicing. I know they've been playing a lot. Interesting, he does have a launch pad already, contested by Frezzo, and I don't know who his duo is. Looks like they're disengaging though, so this could be good for Rocky and Seven.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are trying to disengage. We have Dunaline and Azuko, and Lazy Lakes. Doesn't look right now like anyone's contesting them.
Because Harsh and Control from Johns Hopkins had been landing Lazy in the last few seasons. I'm not sure if a fight has already occurred here. Maybe, I'm not sure, but this had previously been Harsh and Control's spot. They landed here in Trio Play BS. They landed here in previous AVGL competitions. I'm surprised not to see them here.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like I said, looks like they're uncontested here. There looks like there was some previous builds. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, uncontested. The only ones here. They no kills on the board, so they were uncontested. Peppers in the inventory, huge. Also launch pad. A lot of launch pads being found. Interesting to see how everything switches up. A lot of launch pads now, but this season, not as many frequent high tier shotguns. Those legendary and gold pumps alongside legendary and gold tags. I haven't been seeing them as much in competitive play recently.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen much of that being in play either. Definitely kind of excited to see the burst back in Augs. Now these parasites are very difficult to shoot at. It's the only way that I've seen be able to get rid of them is when I go in water. When I play myself, that's the only reason to get rid of them.
Definitely can be a little bit awkward to get the parasites. New addition this season. They reduce your health, but also protect your head from taking damage, but also give you a hop rock effect. Very interesting mechanic. Could be a little awkward for players that maybe haven't been playing as much this season. Might not be used to it. I know over at the Holly hatchery, they're all over the place. It's kind of hard to avoid in those low gravity zones they've added over there. Arrow, CK, and Derpy. Team I think could do pretty well. I did think Derpy was playing with Dylan. My mistake. Corny Complex. There looks like there might be a team approaching them.
Yeah, they're definitely. It looks like they're approaching or trying to engage.
Yeah, I think Prince Nasty we saw for a second. This could be a fight.
Princess Nasty 7, yeah, and his or her teammate might be trying to get a couple shots off to get tags for Storm Surge, or just to see what type of fight they might be able to win against this duo. But it doesn't look like that team has Princess Nasty and them look like they have full shield. Looks like we may have a tag on our hand here now.
This is Physics and King. Getting headshot
wow.
sniper, a traded headshot snipe. Is that what happened? Did they snipe? They sniped each other.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, they sniped one another. That's crazy.
That's
good
really good for certain, and they're gonna actually trade out the reses. I haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'm out of the car. That's incredible.
I think what they're gonna do here is Physics is gonna try to heal up. Nasty doesn't look like he's healing. He might be trying to though.
Oh, almost full pieced by King.
Yeah, he's trying to heal.
This is awkward because it's kind of a 1v1 with each of the teammates like healing at the same time. Very awkward fight to be having.
Yeah, but see, King has more HP right now. Has a health advantage. Guys,
But he is split from his teammate. His teammate not on that good of health.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna hurt, especially if his teammate. It looks like they're on the same level now.
You have to
which
wonder,
is good that they're back together.
With Zone pulling in, closing right on them. Zone looks like it's pulling north. You have to wonder, is this something you really want to be fighting right now? They all have launch pads. They have good materials. Their heal's good. Their loot is pretty good. Do you want to be taking this fight? They already got their Storm Surge if they need it. If this is me, I'm trying to leave.
Yeah, definitely. Not trying to fight something in Storm that may cause you to, affect your game in general.
Oh, interesting. You see Biggs and Mars from Misty set up trying to third party this fight. I don't know if Maddie's going to make it out of this fight. White health?
No, I don't think he is. If he does, that'd be quite amazing. But the odds of it right now look very slim. You have that other duo. This might be a triple fight right here. But it looks like Physics
that was
and King
Biggs
are
and
going to
Mars.
get away
Looks like they're
safer
not
from it.
trying to get the fight. But look, there's another team. The team from Slurpee Frezza. This is a really awkward situation on the south side of zone right now.
Yeah, definitely. Taking the zip line's very, it can go either way. It can be safe or unsafe. That was definitely a risky call, especially going up, but it might be the safest way, which was...
Especially with the 3 or 4 teams where he knows are right next to it. That's crazy.
Yeah, this match
Purple pulse rifle out of the chest. I wonder if he'll pick that up.
We got Code T-Guy and Wiggs and T-Guy now. Looks like a team down to their west a little bit.
Yeah, so zone does pull pretty central. Those south teams are going to have to continue to rotate next to each other. You wonder if that's really going to be an issue for them. Those teams looked like they were pretty prone to fighting. See, Biggs and Mars holding the team in Storm. This is what I expected. Biggs' AR aim is insane. He doesn't miss. Every time I see him play, he hits every shot.
Yeah, this is going to be big for them, especially to get these 2 kills. That's going to be a good couple points right there. That's going to be
that is a lot of
points.
Right there 4 points in this format. It's a lot.
And there's his first 2
Peppers in the
points.
inventory.
And there's the
It's the
other
benefit
two.
of landing
There's those
in
other 2
Misty.
points that they needed. And now
Oh,
here's
there's
another
another fight. They're
another
gonna get
fight
so
right
many.
here. There's another 2 more points for them. This duo is just trying to W team, look for the fights that they know they're gonna win. And it's working out in their
They're
favor
taking
right
their
now.
advantage. Being East Coast players, this is your East Coast game. If you're feeling hot, he's not missing right now. You can just keep fighting. They do realize they're smart players. They're on the edge of zone. Zone pool's kind of north here. They might. I don't think he's getting
Yeah,
the loot in
and-
storm, and they might just try to leave. Yeah, it's looking like a disengage.
That might be their best bet. I mean, especially. Well, I mean, here comes a whole nother team right here in front of Flacco and Fresno FN.
Looking for a disengage here, I think. Swinging the pickaxe. Yeah, it's gonna be a full disengage. So these teams don't want to fight. Trying to get those end game points. These 2 points. If you die here, looking for 2 points, it's not gonna be worth it. There's end game points that win. 7 points. There's like 15 points within the top 5. You don't want to be throwing away your game this early. With still 28 teams alive for the fight. Princess Nasty
Here's
in a
another
fight.
fight we got.
Dominating. Getting the knock here. Duo is gonna go
And
down
Princess
though.
Nasty's teammate go down. Yeah, and Princess Nasty's teammate goes down. That's gonna, it comes down to the trade. Here's this purple tack we were talking about that we don't ever see really comp as much this
This is
season.
a fantastic box fighting weapon. You see Princess Nasty, you're going to try to take the wall with the tack, the shot, the epic and legendary tacks. When the wall is reset, can actually shoot the wall.
Wow!
And it doesn't matter. Gamma Claw, amazing right hand peek off that peanut butter edit. Gonna take out the fight. Probably have to grab their teammate North Regista's card. Try to get a reboot in Corny. There is a team in Corny. Could be a little bit awkward at this stage. A lot of loot though. Launchpad you see picked up there. There's 2 launch pads in their inventory. 8 peppers, which is pretty incredible. Not sure where they landed. Maybe Caddy. Maybe.
That's
not
gonna be
missed,
huge for late game.
That's a really good for late game. 2 launch pads. As long as you can get this reboot up, they're in a great position.
Oh yeah. And we got Kairos and Swinax sitting in a bush here in farms. In the farms.
Yeah, over in
If
Corny.
they hear that reboot,
that could be an issue.
yeah, definitely. Them hearing that reboot could cause a lot of fight. And here's it.
Mellow and Frosty. This is your pick to perform well. Yeah, looking good.
Yeah,
Launchpad and
definitely.
inventory.
The 6 minis and Frosty's 6 minis in the big pot. And then you got Miller with the 2 bigs, 6 minis and 3 meds. They got good builds.
Honestly, looking
they got
fantastic. I think they both have launch pads.
Yeah.
This section of zone, if you look at the mini map in the bottom right corner, is stacked right now. There are so many teams right here in the center of the zone. If it pulls away, this could be crazy. There could be a lot of fights
definitely.
here if zone pulls. Biggs and
Yeah,
Mars,
Zone
south
pulls
side of
is
zone.
gonna be-
Zone
Yeah.
pool south, so some of those teams might actually have to move. Maybe a little bit. They're probably close on edge. This is a fantastic zone pool for Biggs and Mars. They're on dead side of zone basically. All the teams from the south aren't really with them anymore. Everyone's moved to center zone. They're in a great spot.
And somewhere here, and it looks like Static here and his teammate Wilkai are separated from one another. And then you have Duke and Branos right there, right above Mellows and Frosty.
I mean,
and
there's
you got
just so many
Jacob
teams
and-
here.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
You could.
I feel like once it comes down to this end game,
A lot of teams still have to move to. You saw Amaze Kid and Jacob trying to rotate, getting sprayed by their teams. This could be a huge problem. See, these teams are barely in on the north side of the zone. Those teams rotating in right now, getting absolutely beamed for Surge right now. You see Gingy Bob in the back, absolutely beamed. Gingit Bros, my bad.
yeah. And then you got these Jacob and then Jacob and his teammate right here, and Gingy gets edging. He's gonna get double sprayed here, which is big for Frosty and Mellows.
Possible
to
lobby
sit here and
focus
try to take the
situation.
spray, especially considering his life. Yeah, that could be a big issue for Gingy if he's solo right now. He's getting his shield up again, but who knows if that's gonna even hold for him.
I mean, Duke and Bronos just have amazing loot out of Bony Burbs. Fantastic. They have to be happy with this. Amazing
With
snipe.
that
That
nice
was close.
snipe.
That's a hard angle. because that player's playing that angle pretty well. They're trying to make sure they're not at least exposed as possible, going for those tags and snipe right in the foot. Like, that's a hard shot to hit.
Definitely.
Third zone closing right now. So
You know, teams
generally,
are just looking for picks right now.
Yeah. I mean, a headshot snipe is huge. Really good for Surge, and if you get that finish, maybe he calls a lobby focus, get that kill, 2 points on the board, you can't be mad about that.
No, definitely not. That's going to be even points per kill is going to even be big for you in general.
I'm a little worried. This team's definitely looking for a snipe. The teammate holding the edit for the other one. Probably one of the safer ways to do it. I don't know about this bottom corner edit. It seems pretty exposed. I think I would prefer to go for a window edit, but...
Yeah, definitely a window edit, because there looks like there's a team to their right, and that might, you know, try to snipe them while they're editing this, which could be unsafe and not go in their favor.
So the team that rebooted, they did get the reboot off, but it doesn't seem to matter. Duke and Bronos holding this team in zone. This is a hard situation. Your teammate's down. Looks like maybe 100 effective HP. Using the launch
looks
pad.
like another. And there's that lobby focus that you were talking about before. You know, once they hit that pad, and yeah, it's gonna be, you know, that's amazing to do. You know, like you were saying, the whole holding people in farm is definitely the big thing to worry about. If you get held, you're just kind of done. Gingy got back with his teammate Red here. As you saw earlier that he was stolen by himself.
Teams might be... Fourth zone did pull south, so this is probably really good for where Biggs and Mars were coming in from the south. A lot of teams have to move right now. There's still 51 teams alive. Possible surge. Not sure it'll happen this game for the fourth zone closing. Because only one team needs to go. This team taking, following Duke and Bronos. This is a smart strategy. You can shoot them in the back, make them build for you, protect your rotate behind them.
Yeah, exactly. I feel
they actually
like,
opted to use a launch pad here.
Which is safe. They're not using one of their own mobilities, and they're just reusing a
whole lobby looking at them.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Chief of Peace, also known as Frosty, going down out of the air. You hate to see it.
You know, that would have been big if they had was able to get that rotate off from Duke and Bronos.
Yeah, you see in the top left, Biggs getting killed. A lot of kills going down on this rotate right now to fourth zone.
And Ruin Circle's about to happen here in fifth, and it's going to be, you know, a lot of the rotation's going to come into play here. A nice headshot from 7.
We're getting really close now to the top 20 points, which is an additional 3 points from the top 30 points, which could be pretty big for some teams, depending on how they're playing right now. Definitely want to stay alive for the next 2 teams on this rotate. We'll have to see where half
Yeah,
pops.
especially if... Yeah, definitely you want to stay alive now as it's coming into the 20 teams alive.
Ooh,
I mean,
max pool for a lot of these teams we're looking at to perform well. Bronos, gonna choose to use this launchpad early, get to zone. Probably a smart play. Don't want to be launchpadding in when everyone's already there to stare at you. Still
yeah,
not all
nice
the way
way
in though.
Cover. Yeah, definitely a good way though to try to start that early rotation. You know, he gave Duke that coverage once he got in so that he wasn't getting sprayed at and getting lobby focused. But my big thing is how's Mello doing being solo now, or some of these other solo guys that are playing.
We're seeing that loot split we saw at the beginning of the game with Bronos paying off. They have so many launch pads. They can use it every rotate. Every time they want to move, they're just throwing it down another launch pad. That's huge. That's what those big loot splits. This is a team people respect. Bronos, top tier player. He gets the loot. It allows him to perform well in game. We saw though, Biggs and Marks, which had been staying on the south side of the zone, they're actually on height right now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think they are actually. See, we got Arrow CK here and his duo Derpy. And you see Mello right here in front of him. Looks like they're gonna try to lobby focus him. Or spray at him.
A little weird. He is on a weird part of zone to go for these shots on. There's not a lot of other teammates that can shoot for him, but they might know he's a solo, and if he's a solo, they're the type of players who might play aggro there, try to get that kill point.
Yeah. Like you said,
And for him, making the rotate in a little late, really low on health. This is scary. 5 HP.
Yeah, that's the scary part. If his teammate can help him out and get him in the same box with him in gold while he can get that med kit off.
He actually goes down to
his
D-line,
inventory.
top left, the kill feed.
Now we got 7 and Rocky spraying down here at one team right outside circle, or right inside. You got King back and 4 Vibes pushing into circle, trying to get that early rotation so that they're not going to focus later on. Looks like Mars is on height.
It looks like zone, first moving, might be pulling up this hill the way these teams are moving. It does. It pulls. Does it pull up and over this hill? I think
it definitely
might.
looks like it is. Yeah, it definitely
This
does.
is definitely a scary zone. You
It
see
pulls up
Biggs
and
and Mars building up pretty scary. One middle ramp.
yeah, you
Slurp
definitely want to
cannon.
connect
Slurp
yourself to
cannon
it a
is
little
something
bit
new
more.
we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, definitely. That's another big thing. Looks like he's definitely got one slurp cannon. They're trying to spray Rocky and 7 here. Rocky gets taken down here.
And we see Storm Surge
They're
coming
still
into play
spraying
here.
at this
One more person needs to go down for Surge to go away. Still box to box with 7 and Rocky. A little bit scary position. Doesn't have any of these built around him separated from his teammate.
Looks like Kairos goes
Unfortunately
down
going down to Rhino. Rocky getting a kill on that player that was box to box with him. Swinax by himself with that Chug Cannon. Chug Cannon is a game changer. Added this season, dropped from the new llamas that move around the map. But Biggs and Mars,
Yeah.
still on height. 5 kills to his name. Insane. He doesn't miss with the AR. He doesn't miss. He's an insane height player because of it. There, 6 kills with board, taking out sap games. Like 2
And here he goes
floppers for that heal off
trying to get
potential.
ahead of people.
Still 130 mats, sitting on height, still has a launch pad. You have to think this is their game to win.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I don't see any other really duo win this, unless somehow they
See Rocky
get shot
front
down.
zone, getting back to his duo 7. Duke and Brono's back zone, they could possibly pull up a height take from back zone. You don't know what they've got. Might have found a slurp cannon, using it to heal off in Storm, making those plays, but Derpy and Arrow looking to take the low ground ahead of first moving. Going for this kill
Yeah, it
on
looks
Dr.
like they
Duke,
got-
taking him out actually. Mars gets the kill on Dr. Duke from height.
Mars took him out. You know, that's some good shots taken out. You know, I feel like people really need to focus on that height, taking that Mars and Beggs down in order to do so to even, you know, do even better.
See Biggs getting another kill in the kill feed. Big Rib looking to take down low ground. He gets a kill on low ground. Derpy is fishing, dropping the low ground. Again, he does have that Chug Cannon, giving him a little bit of an advantage on these other players.
Here we
And
see
yeah, hits
Arrow
Pula.
getting another kill. And getting that
3
health
kills
and
to their
refresh
name.
on that. You know, we have
Big Rib
top
back
16
zone.
here.
Oh, one build. Top 5 situation. Solo, 0
You know,
builds,
Rib
looking for the
needs
cool
a-
swings.
Rib
Swinax, another
definitely
duo,
needs a
a solo we
refresh
saw.
here.
His teammate go down. Derpy takes him
Rib
down
goes
from low
down.
ground.
You know, it's
Biggs and
definitely
Mars
gonna-
still on
I feel
height.
like yeah, I feel like definitely it's gonna be Derpy and Arrow to go to the Derpy and Arrow to.
See Rocky going down low.
Facing-
Swinax getting the kill on Arrow. 1 HP.
Mars still on height.
7, Derpy. Top 5. Only duo left is Biggs and Mars on height with 7 left. Launch padding onto height. It's just the Biggs and Mars show right now. I'd
Yeah,
love to see how many
definitely.
kills they had. 11 kills
12
on
kills.
Biggs, 1 kill on Mars, 12 kill victory royale. That's like a 65-point game. That is huge. That is an incredible win. Looking back
That's
at
gonna
the
be a
replays,
big
this
game.
fight with Princess Nasty we saw earlier. And Biggs on height, we
And here's
saw
some of
this. He's a beast.
Here's some of the beams from Beggs on height. You know, that's what really helped them, was that, you know, holding that height, getting those kills, and, you know, that's why they won the first game.
if you need to endgame this top 5 situation, big rip, trying to clutch up some points, falls to derpy low ground. I didn't play from 7, getting second, launch padding height, trying to make that desperate play. He had no builds left, beamed out of the air. He doesn't miss. What could you even say?
And that was such a good game from Beggs and Mars. You know, that 12-point game. You know, that's 24 points off those 12 kills alone, and then those placement points even came bigger. Even with the 41 points for the victory royale, I mean that's gonna do a lot on the leaderboard.
Yeah, a team that plays that game out, gets 5th place with 0 elims, is this only 1 point more than the amount of elim points that Biggs and Mars got in that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight and it's gonna be close. And overall, I think.
I mean, even with launch pads in the game, no one's even contesting them height. There's so much respect for these players. Holding it from half zone all the way to final zone, nothing. They held it. No one contested. Even when it pulled over down the mountain, they were there.
Yeah, they were.
We'll have to see if someone can pull up first. So they did pull half and half. You have to wonder if that's a factor. Maybe someone else holds it if they get that height on half zone. We'll have to see, but we'll see you after this break. Game 2 on NA West.
I don't want to freak you out, but I can see inside your room from the street. Get some blinds and call me back. Just come outside because I'm here right now. Alright. Bye.
Nightfall, slow motion, and I shouldn't be here. I know. How about we don't wait for once? Just move with me. How about we just sit
And we're back.
Yes, we are. We are back with more of Faction 2 coming soon for Game 2 on the West Coast.
We're going to take a look at the leaderboard now from Game 1.
We got Mars and Beggs here in first with 65, Rocky and 7 in second with 40, Kairos and Swinex in third with 39, and Derpy and Arrow in fourth with 38. You know, that first game really helped Mars and Beggs. They got a 15-point lead on Rocky. And then Kairos and Swinex, Kairos, Arrow, and Derpy aren't too far behind Rocky and 7. I mean, this is going to be a tight battle.
What happened? Dr. Duke and Bronus, they were looking so good Game 1. They were using their launch pads twice to get to 4th zone. We have to wonder if something ran out. 20 points, Game 1, nothing to be upset about for sure. Looking at the West game, Derpy and Arrow might be looking at a really good performance here, having that West ping advantage. Might see them jump all the way up to first. Who knows? We'll have to see where the zones pull. Harsh Control down in 9th. But the lead in first, 25 points, that's huge. That's an incredible lead. Game 1 though, 5 more games, a lot can happen.
Yeah, definitely. This could take a turn fast, like you said. Arrow and Derpy, you know, that West Ping host might, you know, they could jump from 4th to 2nd. You know, like anything can happen in this next game, especially for some of the West Coast that may be at the bottom of the leaderboard. They can just, you know, their numbers could shoot up like nothing. We may see them at the top. Like, this is just going to go back and forth all day, honestly.
Yeah, these are close standings. You can't be surprised. Biggs and Mars, my pick ticket, I'm pretty happy. They're in first after Game 1. Take that Game 1 victory royale. That's a lot of points, a lot of elims. You have to think maybe some of these teams didn't see many people contested other than the Slurpy Swamps game. We have to wonder maybe some of these teams might be taking a more aggressive play style after the first game. Maybe switch it up. Maybe they feel they use their launch pads inefficiently. We saw pretty much in the launch pad like every person we expected his inventory. They're all over the place. Maybe try to recycle launch pads, take those launch pads to later zones. Maybe go for a hype play. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those launch pads could come in really good use. Like you said, we definitely saw a lot more, you know, than I actually planned to see. I mean, this is more comp now that, you know, it feel like they're going to spawn in more. Here we go with Will Cry and Statics going to Retail Row in Game 2 on the West Coast servers. They're jumping out and going towards Retail. Looks like they're contested
they
here.
Might be contested. So I'm not sure who's contesting right now, but I know that Sap Games is actually someone who lands Retail in other competitions. I played a Trio Cash Cup with him. Fantastic player, and I think I did see him flying it next to him. So this could be a fight off spawn. Sap Games is an East Coast player, so Will Cry and Statics are West Coast players. They might have the ping advantage in this spawn fight. Looks like Sap Games is going to opt to go to Blacktops. Will Cry and Statics to go to the residential side. What are your thoughts on this?
Looks like we definitely got already a knock from 7 and knocking out Fresno, and looks like they're taking this fight off spawn this game. You know, looking at a different approach, like you were saying. You know, those 2 points right there. There's 4 points off the word go for this duo. You know, that's going to be huge.
The thing is, there's another team here.
Yeah, Maddie and
Maddie.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there were 3 teams here the first game. Maybe that I don't think Nate and Maddie. I think we saw in the late game. So someone switched up here.
Yeah.
This is a new contest. 7 making quick work of that team. Absolutely fantastic mechanical player. Taking that fight 1v2 almost.
And here we go. We got Will Cry and Statics, you know, trying to fight, but it doesn't look like neither of them got shield to even try to fight this. So you would think they would try to back off, and looks like we got Big Riv killing Urak on iPad in the kill feed.
Yeah, this is an interesting play because Sap Games and his teammate, full shield on both of them, all of the loot from Blacktops. Will Cry and Statics do have the opportunity to get a launch pad here, but there's a lot of loot to back off of from this location. You go to the yellow house over to the south side. or north, my bad. I don't know if someone caddy, maybe caddy. There's back mountain areas. They have a great opportunity to disengage. He's playing pretty aggro. I know he's looking for the snipe. Snipe would be huge in this fight, but he's playing pretty aggro for this no shield situation.
Yeah, and then if they needed to even try to, if they ended up getting towards them and they need to get out of there, they have that orb top on top of that white mountain there to your up on your upper left screen. They can use that as rotation to get out of there if either team needed to rotate out of there instead of taking a fight, that they might not want to. I mean,
the
you gotta look
Spires from
here,
the
though.
previous season still in play.
Yeah.
Great rotation option. Bullcrat looking for the snipe, not gonna hit it, but this could be good tags. If the games stay stacked, surge here matters. Snipes are insane surge. Think about it. An AR tag, you have to hit maybe 10 AR shots to match the amount of damage you're doing with a headshot snipe. Headshot snipe is a game changer when it comes to Storm Surge.
Yeah, definitely. My thing is still here. All right, here we go. We got Wilkai finally getting shield. He's about to have full shield, he's about to have full everything, which is going to be huge if they wanted to take this fight in the long run. You still got Wilkai and trying to take snipes at these guys, and they keep peeking up and down, and he's just waiting for that right time to hit it. They seem to
really want to fight this. I feel like Sad Games and Clem's are in a better position.
Yeah, they definitely are, especially having the high ground. But being East Coast, you want to try to weaken your opponents. Like, I'm East Coast myself, and it's like you want to take a fight faster on West, so that this is where you just want to try to W key in a way, but you don't want to throw your games away like you said prior in the first game.
Yeah. Statics and Wilcry, I believe, both have launch pads. I maybe they want this loot. Maybe they want to secure retail uncontested for future games. I don't know, or maybe this is how they play for their surge. I'm not sure, but looks like they're going all in for this fight. Oh, insane beat on Sap.
Yeah, definitely insane beat, especially with the suppressed SMG. That gun used to be amazing back in the old days. Now it's just kind of, it's not where it used to be as it is now.
With the health on Clemson and Sap Games right now, this gold deagle, the headshot, that's what I'm talking about. It does so much damage. They haven't changed it in so long. That's huge for this fight.
And there's a nice 71 tag for Static. Clemson, that's their game right there. They just threw.
That D was everything.
Yeah.
150 damage headshot. That's insane. Fantastic out of Statics. If you're Sap Games, you gotta be gritting your teeth there. Like, I don't think he had shot the deal yet. Saved it for the perfect opportunity. Got that 150 deep to the head. Game over. Crazy fight.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go with Frosty Mellow, the pick that I want to see win. And you got Derpy and Arrow down here in the farms, and you got Flapjack and his teammate here in the river, under this blue bridge, in between Pleasant and gas station.
Yeah, you have to wonder if this team maybe wants to switch up their strategy. I don't think I saw them in the top 10 leaderboard in the previous game.
No, I didn't.
Maybe looking to make it back this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think honestly, if Mello and Frosty, I think they definitely have a good shot at, making a comeback. I mean, we still got, this game and 4 more to come where, they can do whatever they really need to. You got Kai and Flapjacks in here in the bushes, like I said, under the bridge, and you got one team coming over Blue Bridge now. Another pulling up. You got Frosty and Mello pulling up on gas station. These would be big beams right here. Good for Storm Surge. They're still trying to shoot
a little bit of beam getting out. I think I saw the 30 tag. Can't be upset with that. Maybe want to get a better beam. That was good reaction time from the team in the car. Flapjack and Kai making that play for that late game, sitting in the bush. They have great loot, maybe coming out of Craggy. I think I saw 125 builds on one of them. Good shield. Their game plan might be, maybe they're going to move from bush to bush, stay safe, make sure people aren't going to fight them, maybe get that extra placement points, maybe push them ahead of the competition that might be playing more in the open. That team's not going to get headshot snipe running in the open. That team's not going to be damaged doing their rotate. They might be in a better position than some of these other teams.
Yeah, definitely. You gotta wonder if Flapjack and Kai hear them. They definitely hear them, and they might see their movement and them breaking, a bridge above them, and they might be like, okay, let's wait for them to rotate into looking more towards like risky area and stuff. And they may look for those beams there. You got Flapjack with 2 chili peppers and 2 medkits, a deagle. We saw what the deagle did earlier in retail. That 150. We got a fight here, and looks like in Storm
This
at
is a
Believer
Storm
Beach
fight.
right outside of it.
Believer Beach, definitely a POI that 2 teams can make it out of with amazing loot. With the shotgun NPC over by the dock, can sell legendary pumps. One of the only POIs where you can get that guaranteed shotgun. Looks like maybe a disengage by Kickback and Vibes. Can't blame them. Storm fighting. Zone is all the way at Bodie, not that far, but
here we go.
7 playing
Seven
aggro this game.
Very aggro this game. Almost 4 kills on the board.
Just making quick work of 3-round bursts and a little bit math. 4 kills on the board, taking the original duo we saw off spawn and playing aggro this game. Didn't even have to use that much of their loot. Rocky a little low in AR ammo. Beyond that, launch pads, good mats, good shield. More points on the board.
And a nice medkit right there. You gotta wonder if wonder if he's gonna take the medkit over, the sniper or the fireflies. But like I was saying about the Believer Beach, it changed from I forget the old name of it. I can't think of it. Sweaty Sands, thank you.
Yeah, so the Believer Beach Sweaty Sands change. It's pretty big for the POI. The crash pads, not sure if they're still in, but they make moving around the POI way easier. More metal in the POI to be farmed. Great POI right now.
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit of standoff between Prem and Duda, along with T-Guy and Wiggs. Maybe not wanting to take this fight, but a little stuck next to each other.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are teams are trying to figure out whether they want to fight each other now or if they're just looking for storm tags. They could be just sitting here trying to play it out and see if they can gain placement points. I mean, anything's possible right now.
If you notice these skins they're wearing, the new Ferrari skins, there's actually been a recent Ferrari collaboration in Fortnite, and the Whiplash vehicle has been replaced with Ferraris and is slightly buffed, and in duos, the 2-seater vehicles are some of the best vehicles of the game. Though the chonker wheels that were added last season onto the Lambos, probably the best vehicle, maybe one of the best ways to rotate in the game.
Yeah, definitely. You got Vibes and his teammate on top of that Spider that we were talking about earlier, from recent seasons, from last season, from the Primal season, looks like they're trying to rotate in towards Corny. Of course, you got some guys fish in the water, which is very unsafe, shooting at Mellow. That's just definitely unsafe sometimes, especially with the building in the water.
See teams grouping up on Corny Complex, maybe in center zone. Trying to get those good positions ahead of time. A lot of teams here. This is a pretty central location. We saw the teams build up a little south of here in the previous game. Team Krios and Sway all the way on Zate Hill over there. A really good position for Storm Surge in competitive games, named after the retired professional player Zate. We see a second zone closes in. Corny, it's the hot spot.
Looks like North and Game of Claw are doing a little better this game than compared to last game. It looks like Seven's got another kill on the board. That's got to be 5 kills, I think, for him right now, which is big.
They've definitely switched up the playstyle. Being the second place team, they're trying to make up for that difference between them and Biggs and Mars, trying to take that first place position.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen Biggs or Mars go down or even, get any kills right now, to my knowledge. We still got Maddie in here. We still got N8. We got Branos, Duke. A lot of the guys that are on the top 10 leaderboard, I believe, still in game in this lobby. So yeah.
Taking a look over from Zate Hill with Swinax. They gotta view everyone. If zone pulls north, they could pick up a couple kills. Realistically, all the teams, almost every team to the south of them. The fight we saw with Rocky and Seven, we saw this in the kill feed. They're playing aggro this game. They want those points. John going down to Rocky. That's a clean fight. 6 kills on the board.
6 kills.
They're on this north side of the zone. They're on dead side. There's no one over here. They are in an amazing zone position. 6 kills on the board. They're fragging out. They're getting those points, and they're securing that placement. Everyone's around corner right now. They're not going to get shot. They are get the free rotate. Zone pulls north. They're in a great spot. Zone pulls south. They rotate all the way around the west side. It's still free for them.
Yeah. You know, this duo is really looking big right now. You know, coming out of the gate with 6 kills. You know, they're looking to frag out this game is what it's coming down to. They see that build off on top of that mountain. With Swinx and Swinx in it. Swinx and Kairos.
Yeah, they've actually Swinx moved off of Zayd Hill, moving into zone. But this rotate's completely free for Seven and Rocky. They've played dead side pretty well this game.
Definitely.
Moving in probably around Risky right where Kickback and Vibes is. They'll be in a great position for next zone. There's no one even on their side of the zone. Everyone's over by Corny. This west side of the zone's it's dead. Securing placement, especially good to be on dead side. Every team they find, they can fight and not have to worry about those third parties. We saw all their fights. Solo 2v2 fights, no third parties because they're on the dead side of the zone. We see the bottom corner,
like
Will Cry and Statics taking a fight.
You know, they already killed that guy's duo, I believe, a little bit earlier, and they finished. They got his teammate now. You know, which was big, getting those 2 kills. Looks like teams are really trying to camp in bushes these games. You know, we saw...
It is an effective strategy. Sitting in the bush, teams don't know where you are. You can rotate pretty easily. They're actually going to opt to base up inside of zone because their bush is no longer in zone. But you can get easy beams, save mats. Fantastic strategy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely a great way to, you know, conserve mats so you don't have to really worry about, you know, going all out on it until you know you really have to. Especially if it comes to endgame and there's a bush, people might not know you're there, and you could, you know, take free picks and try to pick people off one by one as people are rotating in. But yeah, those are definitely good spots to hide.
Seven Rocky, probably the kill leaders in this match right now. Good spot on zone. Bottom left corner of the map, you see another team sneaking into zone. Gotta wonder if that's Biggs and Mars. They play that rotate late edge zone strategy. We saw it pay off for them last game, might pay off again. They get their kills in late game. They're not worried about these early game kills like Biggs, like Seven and Rocky. They're trying to get their kills right now. Biggs and Mars, if they secure high ground, they get their kills. We saw it last game, 11 kills on Biggs.
Yeah. You know, in the distance we see from Maddie and N8, we see King and Physics. You know, that was the duo we were watching a little bit early on in the first game. Physics not looking like he has any shield to do anything for himself, but I mean, it looks like he popped shield now. He may have, you know.
I think they're getting tagged while they're rotating in over there.
Yeah.
But you did notice
right
Nate and his duo making it in. They were contested all spawned by Seven, who is playing aggro, but they were able to escape out of Slurpee without dying.
Yeah, and here's Physics and King pushing a fight. We're trying to heal up and stay out of a fight. You know, there's 2 teams right there. You got Amazing and Jacob, and I Thirst You and Physics and King right there, all kind of grouped up. I mean, that could turn into a lobby focus right then and there. Kai looks like he's getting shot at a little bit, taking some damage over here.
Players moving in. The next zone has appeared, pulling to the southwest side. This is where Seven, I believe Seven and Rocky might already be in zone. Bronos, barely in zone here. Legendary Tech and an Ogwan dude. They both have launch pads again. Peppers. Wonder if they're going to use their launch pads a little differently this game. Maybe pop Peppers to get to half and half instead of using those 2 launch pads they did last game. It was elevated. It might have been the best play to use those launch pads going up that elevation, but you gotta wonder if they're rethinking that decision in this game.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they do have Peppers. They do have the fishing rods. They're not as, you know, they're not as good as the harpoons were, but they're still helpful in the long run to, you know, try to collect nats and stuff. You know, those will help out even as much as harpoons, but just not.
Dude,
when you get unlimited
Bros has
usage.
this edit. Layer up. Might go for that double spray. I think he is. He's getting his teammate over.
Yeah.
They're gonna go for this spray on Maddie.
Which is gonna be big.
1
Maddie's
HP. They're actually gonna play
gonna be
aggro. They want this kill. They don't. They don't want that. Alright, they're gonna back off.
It doesn't look like they want to get lobby
that's the
focused
patience
up there
that
too.
these players have. These are the best collegiate duos in the nation. They're gonna have the patience. They're gonna get those 2 white tags and say, "We're in the middle of the zone. I don't want to get lobby focus. This fight's not for us." They're gonna back off. That's fantastic patience out of these players.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they can always use those beams off them for storm surge if it comes down to that. I mean, we still got 41 guys left in this lobby alone. You know, that's kind of. I mean, you still need beam to at least die to get that top 20 placement points. And there goes a knock. Kyra got knocked by 22 King up in the left-hand corner.
Zone's gonna pull
Busta
all the way
930.
north. This is not the best zone. I believe Biggs and Mars were close to center, but not many teams in this zone right now. Could be a hard rotate for some of these teams, but I gotta wonder who's on height right now. Is Duke and Bronos? I believe they were on the east side of zone, so I don't believe they're in, but gotta wonder who's on top right now. Biggs and Mars go down in the kill feed, the T guy. That's huge.
You know,
Barely in top
7.
20. This is a huge game for 7 and Rocky, second place team. They already have those 6 kills on the board. You gotta wonder if this is their game. They could take first place in the second game.
yeah, definitely. If they take first place here in this game, they're gonna be ahead. They're gonna take either first or they're gonna be not far behind. You know, especially if they were to die here. If they make top 5, they definitely have a good shot at be taken first. I mean, especially with the kills they got off rip. You know, they had 6 kills right off the word go. 4 points off the word go from those 2 kills at the beginning in Slurpee.
It's Bronos and Dr. Duke look like they're on high ground and have enough. I think they're trying to make up for their last game. They said, last game, forget about it. This is our game. We're winning this one. I think they can do it. Biggs and Mars out of the picture,
definitely.
fantastic height players, but they're not here to take height.
Yeah, it looks like
I think Duke and
it
Bronos
did
can
look
do
like
it.
Bulla. It looked like Big Riv and Bulla were trying to come up almost as they were trying to come up and try to take height from them. Looks like 7 kick and Riv and his teammate are all on the same height, same level.
Rocky actually going
Rocky
down to
goes-
Prem FN. Prem full killing Rocky. This could be crazy for the leaderboard. Leaderboard might get a lot tighter after this game.
Yeah, definitely.
Zone actually pulling far from Duke and Bronos. They're at the full rotate.
Bronos
Already
he
launch
saw
padding ahead.
Bronos.
That is so smart. Taking the high ground. He knows zone pulls. They're getting ahead. Support his teammate. They're playing this so well. No, but they don't even get height. Will Cry take back fighting for height right now. Double spade coming out of Krios. Way above Surge. 5 players need to die for this Surge to not pop. Derpy getting a kill in the feed. Swinx getting ahead of zone. Putting out the tarps for his teammate. Moving through some of these recycled builds. Placing the code in this box. Trying to piece his... Whoa. Close one. You see him moving ahead with his teammate. Dropping mats behind him. Playing aggro. They do have a lot of mats. Duke and Bronos fighting for height and back zone. Maybe Duke got knocked, maybe? Looks like Kickback and Vibes taking height.
Looks like Vibes. Kickback, yeah, definitely. They look like they took height. Static.
But Static's building up in front of zone?
Looks like he's trying to get a spray off on them to hold them from being able to get into circle.
Zone's gonna keep pulling, not going back. Swinax looking like they're running out of mats. Maybe want to use one of these launch pads. Going for a kill on red. Not gonna get it. Oh, the Krios does get it. Gets those mats. Going to drop a layer. Running into Frosty and Mellow. Gets the kill. Not gonna get the mats. going for the other kill. Chasing Mello down. Not going to get him. But they have to clear low ground on this side of zone.
They killed him.
Actually beaming control. Not sure if we got that elimination.
Nah, Flapjack got that one. Which was a nice
Statics
kill steal.
He's
And
on height now.
on height.
Gotta wonder what happened to Bronos. Maybe playing solo still. I'm not sure if I saw him go down in the kill feed. Looking to spray this team off of second height. Running out of mats. Statics only has 10 builds. 7 still alive. Rocky went down in half zone. 7 actually going down harsh. As I mentioned it. Mello's taking height. As a solo.
And who do we have on height? Yeah, Melo's taking height. That's big as a solo, you know, taking that height from without having to do it, or you know, even getting it or holding it for some time is good too.
Very
not having to worry about
impressive
getting those
for
fights.
sure. Swinax with his duo Krios on the low ground has the chug cannon. This could be their winning condition, being able to heal off as 8th zone and 9th zone comes into play. This is the final zone of the game. Minute and a half till like fully closes. If it makes it all the way, it'll result in a heal off. Chug cannon, one of the best in the game. Many pro players have said if you don't have the chug cannon, you're not winning the game. And Will Cry next. King and Rhino taking height from Will Cry. Swinax getting another elimination. I think there might have been another chug cannon. They both have chug cannons. This could be huge.
Oh yeah, definitely. Looks like Kairos, Swinax, Maddie, 8, Rhino, and 22 King might take this game. That's after getting height.
If they can
still got
push,
that chug cannon.
if they can push Nate into fighting Swinax as they're doing right now, it's their game to win. Swinax going down. Getting the beam on Maddie too. I don't think they can take this away from him. Low on mats, but this spray is relentless.
Yeah, this is definitely, you know, King's got 8 builds up here on height. Just don't know how many
Krios
he
dies,
has.
back zone, Nate down. It's
There it is.
King and Rhino taking your game 2 victory royale. Seven kill victory royale. Gotta wonder if that moves them up the leaderboard. Looking at our replays, this is the fight we saw from 7 off spawn, taking that 1v2 fight and cleaning up 4 points on the board right off rip. We're seeing this fight between. This was the fight between Statics and Sap Games. This deal shot won him the fight. 156 to the dome. Incredible.
And then here comes the box fight that we were talking about earlier. You know.
This fight was so clean. Incredibly clean fight.
Yeah, definitely was.
Well played. This fight between 7.
And then
they were playing aggro this game.
Yeah, they
Gotta wonder
definitely
if their
wanted this to be bad.
aggressiveness was the aggressiveness the downfall of their play this game. Not sure if Rocky falling in that half zone. 7 making it pretty far as a solo. We gotta wonder if they're thinking maybe play him a little passive next game. We'll have to see. Swinix and Krios, amazing play this last game. They played this so well.
Yeah.
Fragging out all this low ground, playing back zone, low on mats, getting those refreshes, secured the chug cannon, made it all the way to top 3. That's a lot of points on the board for them. Close it out. Which is when we saw King and Rhino take high ground. That was the winning move. Them taking high ground from back zone right there, that wins them the game. They play this pressure so well. They pressure Swinax down to fight on the lowest layer by spraying their top as they're the second height team, and it just wins them the game. They get this beam on Maddie as well, but they only have wood, easily destroyed. And they just take out this victory royale, beaming Nate in back zone. Incredible.
Yeah, giving them that 7 kill win.
7 kill win. You gotta wonder if that shakes up the rankings. We saw Biggs and Mars fall really early on, as well as 7 and Mars, our top 2, 7 and Rocky, my bad, our top 2 teams. This probably changes everything. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a very tight race within the top 5.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this honestly can go any way possible now. I mean, seeing Beggs and Mars go down early on, 7 and his teammate, you know, getting those kills off rip. I mean, those 2 kills off rip, and then kind of just trying to frag out from there. Like you said earlier, you know, they were like, they want to win this game, and then you had Branos and Dukes, and they're saying, you know what, we had a bad game the first game. We're going to try to come back and do well this game.
Think about it. It's only game 2. There's so much action left on board. We'll see you for game 3 after this break. Welcome back. Game 2 in the books. Want to see how the leaderboard shook up? Swinax, Krios, that team we saw on low ground absolutely fragging out, taking first place with Biggs and Mars still in second, even after falling. I heard Biggs died to a headshot snipe in half zone. Pretty rough. But holding second, they gotta be happy with that.
And then in third and fourth, we have River AU and Hits AU on third with 68, and then OG and Rhino fourth 67. I mean, Duke and Branos came up 22 points since last game. I mean, they got to be excited about that one. They still got 4 more games to go, but I mean, you know, they're still holding that 10th place nice and strong. I mean, they still got that time to come up.
Player like Bronas, though, gotta think he's hoping to do better in this tournament. I would expect to see them easily in the top 4 by the end of this. Surprised they're still in 10th after 2 games, to be honest. But amazing teams. We see King and Rhino won the last game, took that victory royale up to 4th place. River and Hits taking that 3rd place, 68 points. Really close in the top 4. First place pulling away a little bit, but we did see this last game. It was close. A lot more Fortnite left to be played, though.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be thinking, you know what? Mars and Beggs had a great first game. Wonder to see if they'll come back and do the same thing in game 3 on the East Coast again. You know, and saying it's going to switch back up again.
I think they're definitely more comfortable playing on the East Coast. We're gonna hop on Aero CK and Derpy in the corny complex, looking maybe to extend to gas station, maybe secure some more loot. I'm not sure what he's looking at. Maybe a llama over in the distance. Contested though, I think. See fights going on off spawn. LMC going down to Mayan Flames.
Yeah, we haven't seen Mayan Flames at all this game. You know, this is the first time I've seen him on the, you know, getting kills. I think honestly.
Maybe in a little bit of an off-spawn struggle, maybe getting contested, maybe out-dropped. We see Frezzo FN going down. Aero CK, Corny Complex, definitely good POI. Been buffed recently, a lot better than previous Colossal Crops we saw in the previous season. The underground area with Salone. Salone's Mythic Pulse Rifle, I don't believe is in the game right now. But, a lot of loot here. Reminiscent of the old Anarchy Acres we saw back in Season 1, Season 2 of Chapter 2.
No, yeah, definitely. You know, this looks like we got more kills going on in the feed by Shade on iPod, killing Jamie season. But yeah, they definitely got a contest here off spawn, Arrow and Derpy. Or no, they don't. It looks like there's a team by gas station to left the gas station and stuff. But Arrow does have the ability to get full shield here.
It looks like Swinix, that first place team, is up all the way in Orchard. Perhaps their drop spot similar, maybe splitting between Orchard and Weather Station, the TV station, up all the way to the north. Very popular drop spot used by Skittles, Agers, and D-Gen. Placed top 3 in the last, top 5 in the last FNCS, if I recall correctly. 7 and Rocky, not with those insta kills off spawn. Looks like the team that was contesting them actually left. But Nate, the team that was taking the big side, is still there. And we saw them, they had a 2nd place last game. This is a good team contesting them. We gotta wonder if they're thinking to maybe take this fight off spawn. If they know who it is, maybe they can try to reclaim that 2nd place spot or push themselves up to 1st, maybe swinging the points a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they keep contesting one another. So I mean, honestly, Slurpee's big enough, to take those fights, especially with these flare barrels. Those are huge, especially if you were to, lose a lot of shield. You can use those to your advantage. If you don't have the time to pop the maze, you can always use your builds to break the little barrels and give you that shield, that 10 shield. And behind 7, you see that parasite on the wall.
I know 7 and Rocky don't think they're going to be happy splitting this POI. I think they want it to themselves. I think they're looking for the beam. Looks like they might be able to get these spots on Maddie and Nate. Looks like 7 might barely
Seven looks a
missed
little
him. Might be out
lost.
of frame of his camera.
There
Spotting
it
them.
is.
Insane
There's a
game. That's
nice team.
115 damage. That's huge. This is the fight. They're playing aggro. Seven's an aggro player. He's going in. Crazy beam out of Rocky. Getting the kill already. This looks like a fast fight. 7 low HP though. This could get scary. Rocky's still in full health. Gonna try to make the aggro play to kill Maddie. Get that elimination. Nate already knocked. Maddie. Lana Matt has that launch pad. Would not be surprised if he pops the shield and launch pads away. Getting pressured right now. Rocky taking 100 damage. Rocky down to 56 HP. This fight went from really good to kind of scary. Rocky getting knocked by Maddie. This is a 1v1. Getting that full kill before getting knocked, securing those 2 points. 7 will easily get that reboot.
Looks like Brownells went down in the kill feed.
7
Duke got
trying to assert his dominance. This is his POI, but if you see on the south side, Harsh and Control maybe pushing in might eliminate 7 here. New spot potentially landing Shantytown. I know back in the day they were fans of the Fortilla POI. Hasn't been in the game in a while. This could be bad news for 7. Yeah.
You know, you wonder if he would sit there. Yeah, definitely. You wondered why he wouldn't go on the far side towards the taxi car to, you know, hit so that he wasn't in way of possibly almost getting sniped there. That could have costed their game there. You know, he's building like crazy now, trying to get out of safety. That's not his build. And, you know, you wonder if he's thinking about launch padding out of here to get away from this fight.
Yeah, definitely trying to disengage. I'm sure he does not know who he's fighting. Perhaps thinks he is a winnable 1v2. Personally, I'm not sure it is. Harsh Control, fantastic players. Previously placed 2nd in the Trio Play BS Collegiate competition. They have a long track record. They're Harsh. Competed in the Duo FNCS Grand Finals back in Chapter 2, Season 2. Bonking his head off this launch pad. Not going to go anywhere. Hate to see that.
And you know, with this AK, that AK can always go your way. That AK can really mess you up hard. I mean, with this, the regular AR, that's going to do a little bit more. And 7 goes down by Harsh.
Heavy assault rifle, definitely known for huge damage, but Harsh and Control is going to clean it up. Taking a lot of damage, but they're still in Slurpee. Barrels all over the place. They'll get this health pack. Probably won't even have to use any heals. An extra 2 points on the board. I know they're within the top 10, maybe 7th if I recall correctly. Getting that kill point on the board, knowing that 7 and Rocky aren't ahead of them because they were ahead of them. It's gonna be good for their placement. I think I saw Mars take out maybe 2 people in the kill feed as well. Probably over in Misty Meadows. Gotta be happy with that, trying to make their run back to first place.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you wonder, like, you know what? This team's maybe trying to think of a different way to come at this. Looks like we got a 1v2 here from Cran. Trying to fight the UNH guys.
Yeah, this looks like the spawn fight from Lazy. Get a huge pump on the D-line. D-line opting not to heal, but to continue aggressing on Crane Fam. Crane Fam going to go down to D-line. Taking the L, saying, this is our POI. You can't land Lazy. This is our POI. Probably happy. They have 4 points right now. They have 4 kills. That's 8 points. That's huge. It's a lot of points. Probably going to move up the standings from that one.
Yeah, you wonder if D-Line's going to give Azuki one of the med kits, you know, to pop. He's wasting this med kit on 10 HP. Still, that's going to be helpful in the long run to, you know, if it came down to, you know, that 10 HP is going to help him. Still having these slurp barrels here, which could be put to great use once he pops these mushrooms. And there's some more mushrooms right there, you know. Azuki can pop those apples that he saw down there, and the apples above. But it looks like they're both going to pop these barrels.
Yep, barrels. You gotta love a POI with barrels. See the new Ferrari? Definitely. Maybe gonna take that away. Look like they're trying to play aggro this game. Maybe they were double contested. Wouldn't be surprised. But this Ferrari vehicle, a buffed version of the previous 2-seater car.
Here's Mellow and Frosty trying to, maybe look for a fight. They definitely need to try to get up here on this leaderboard. They know what they're capable of doing. Just, they're having rough games. It seems like you got this team to the left, and looks like there's other teams surrounding them by cars and stuff. There's Bussa and his teammate right there in front of him. You wonder if any teams are going to try to tag them up while driving by in the car.
Yeah, a lot of teams on this central location. Only 20 teams left right now in second zone. Looks like a lot of teams are choosing to use that more aggressive play style. We gotta wonder if the teams that are willing to wait out, play those placement, maybe sit back, play more passively, they don't have to worry about storm surge. This surge couldn't pop unless only 10 more people die before 7th zone. Playing placement here, there's a lot of points within those top 5s. If you get 5 kills, you get 10 points, but you die in 20th, you're not making a lot of points. You're not making your way up that leaderboard. You gotta be getting those top 5s, those top 3s, those victory royales to really put yourself on the board, trying to make it to the top 4, make that money in this tournament. But as you say, Archduke and Bronos.
It looks like they got good heals again this game. Like again, we were talking about the purple tack. Duke has it in his inventory. They got
Probably
4 kills. There's
the best box fighting
right
weapon in the game right now. The legendary attack. Take those builds. You can shoot those builds right as they get reset. Take those walls. East players, East ping. They could probably bully some kids. Other competitors. Just keep shooting that attack. Keep taking those walls. Endless pressure on those box fight situations.
And it looks like Brown's got some 4 peppers, 3 medkits, 6 minis. They're both looking like they got some good loot here to. If they need to take a beam here, or even a good fight, it looks like they definitely got that capability of doing so.
Definitely looking for fights for Eliams. I don't think they had been playing like this previously. D-line on the roof of the gas station, maybe taking Bronos by surprise there.
I think, like you said, they're definitely trying to look at a different approach here this game. The first 2 games have been decent, but they're trying to come back and, show who's boss tonight. Nice tag by D-Line.
Biggs goes out on the feet.
Takes out Biggs.
Looks like that was a full Elim too.
Seems like Biggs' teammate's still up. Doesn't look like team number dropped. There's still 19 teams alive, so it just looks like Biggs only got killed there.
Bronos opting to take this fight a little slow. These teams kind of hesitant to fight each other. Both on 4 kills. Playing a little bit aggro here, maybe. Maybe showing a little hesitance to this fight.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely coming into the top 20 now. You just want to play slow, nice and easy, coming in. You still got 2 more games after this to play, so you want to kind of relax on taking fights and stuff. All right, 3 more games after this. And you got some teams out in the distance to the left on the bridge. You got teams in front of you, behind D-Line and Azuki. You got Wiggs and T-Guy right there behind him. So, looks like they got a pull.
Yeah, they're not going to get this 3rd zone pull. Maybe just going to rotate zone, not worry about this fight, just get ahead. I feel like Bronos might just be looking for the beam in that cone. Just waiting for the opportunity to arise for them to take this fight. Duke looks like however, he is running away, maybe baiting. Yeah, it was a bait for Bronos to get a huge pump on the D-line. D-line taking huge damage. That incredible play by them. That was like a master plan.
And there goes the Zuko.
You have to kill on Azuni. This shaking D-line. This is a 1 fight that was played fantastically.
Beautifully. I don't think I could have seen a better fight, a better bait to come out than that. That's gonna, that's even helping them now with the shakedown, especially. And there he goes.
Taking a D-line, clean fight. The bait play from Dr. Duke to have Bronos ramp over, take that huge pump, get that damage advantage. Easy fight, easy cleanup. So well played from Bronos from Team Kungarna.
And here we go with
Another
another
fight in
pad
front of them
snatch.
inside this building.
It looks like they're going to try to push it as well right now. Maybe they're backing down to go to circle as Storm's starting to come rotate in. You know, here they go with trying to get some snipes off to get some tags. They got pretty decent Storm Surges, what it's going to come down to. But maybe they're trying to look for those extra picks to put themselves up on the leaderboard more. And here comes the spray. That gas can will do some damage to Bronos.
Yeah, I mean, probably the kill leaders in this game. 6 kills on the board, in zone. A lot of teams around them probably gonna. I'd expect them to make some more plays for some more kill elim and points, but looking good this game for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Couple teams over on the northwest side of zone look a little shambles on shield. That snipe through the wall by
And
Duke and Bronos, well played. Probably gonna ag for that fight. Launch padding onto it actually. They're not stopping. This is their lobby. They're coming through. They're showing up, taking down that elimination so fast, using that launch pad, getting that refresh, more elim points on the board. They are not stopping. T-Guy and Wiggs almost going for the same
like I
thing,
said,
going for the spray snipe through the wall. They're gonna do it again.
Wow.
Bronos returning a snipe.
Almost hits another snipe. You know,
What
like
Duke
I
and
said at the
Bronos did
beginning
was
of the game,
actually
you know,
fantastically planned. What happened was Bronos sprayed the wall, and right as the wall broke, Dr. Duke took the sniper shot. So right as the wall was replaced, the sniper bullet would actually sneak through the wall and get that headshot snipe. Amazing play.
and it looks like here we got Derpy and Arrow fighting Gamma Claw North. And looks like Duke and Bronos are using another launch pad to their advantage to keep rotate. And Arrow using that clicks peek that everybody knows of almost to try to hit a beam. Sees Frosty and Mellow off in the distance. Almost as if they're getting lobby focused almost.
Derpy gonna keep looking for these snipes as they actually pull forth the zone. Gonna pull all the way to the west side of zone, and team on the east on those upper mountains gonna have to come down and rotate into zone. Great position to be in, for sure. Arrow CK
And
getting
there goes
headshot
Arrow.
snipe. Bronos with another play.
Bronos.
Gotta think they're gonna launch pad on this and try to get another elim. They're absolutely popping
It looks
off
like-
this game.
Yeah, definitely are. It looks like they're just getting lobby focus actually at this point.
Yeah, I can't imagine this
And
res
Arrow's
gets
about to
off.
die.
That'll be another elim for Bronos and Dr. Duke.
And
There
there
you go.
goes Arrow
Elim point
down.
on the board for Dr. Duke.
But there's a
Clinical
nice
showing
rematch.
from them today.
Yeah, definitely good mat refresh, definitely right there for them. But now it comes down to Derpy's back wall. You know, again, straight from the back and front now. It's gonna hurt. Looks like Willcry and his teammate Statics are on height almost.
Launchpad placed down.
But they know they gotta hold.
Oh my!
Wow, nice beam out of Willcry.
Incredible beam by Willcry, the quad dink almost. That looked like back chapter 2 season 2, like on linear. That was incredible. fantastic play baiting that launch pad. Elim point on the board
Looks
from
like
it.
Mars and Beggs still on height now by the on top of gas station almost.
Pulling half
Trying to
zone
look
again.
down on
First
sprays on
game
him.
we did see them win off of height on half zone. Maybe they'll be able to do it again.
Definitely, you gotta wonder who's gonna try to contest this team, especially on height after the first game on East, where they had height on
You
first half
gotta be
circle,
thinking Duke and Bronos. They wanted this game. They're playing to win. They're not. I don't think they'll let anyone get in their path. I wouldn't be surprised if they pat on the height on first moving. They're playing aggro.
definitely,
They're playing for
wouldn't-
kills.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a great game so far. It seems like, but honestly, it feels like it's gonna be them or Bruno Beggs and Beggs is in his teammate again to try to win game 3 on East. Like, win game 3 and go back to back on East wins.
A little bit of a lobby focus on the control and Harsh, maybe 2 or 3 teams shooting at them. Harsh getting absolutely beamed
Nice
down to
ending
around
from Rogue.
20 health, getting
And there
knocked
goes-
by Bussa. Worldcry has 500 SMDM, a little low in AR mode. Control in Storm, you gotta think he doesn't make it out of this one. Dying
Yeah,
to
and there goes
Worldcry,
Worldcry getting the
being
kill on
fully
Surprise.
eliminated.
Now you gotta
Getting
ooh,
headshot
there's a nice
sniped! Oh
headshot.
my, Banks! Headshot
By
snipe from
Banks.
height!
And like we said before, they were the
Bronos
team
and
that
Duke
worked for
cranking
on
from
height.
height! Mars
Gotta
low
wonder
HP,
what team's
Banks
gonna
low
take height
HP.
here.
Probably gonna give it up. I know they're not ones to contest for height till their death. Bronos seems to have dropped off too, though. Not sure who's on the height. Mars getting beamed again.
You know, Beggs and Mars back together on the same level. You know, doing a
Launch padding ahead. This is it. Getting ahead of zone. Landing
Right
on
on top of
Bronos,
Bronos.
missing this pump. Mars goes down to Dr. Duke.
this team's getting crazy right now.
You gotta think if Dr.
gotta
Duke and
wonder
Bronos can close this out, can take this height, then it's their game to win.
Oh, definitely. It feels like once you get that height, you know, it's gonna come down to like, you know, who's gonna be able to take you
50
off.
builds. First moving coming to a close. 14 teams remaining. And Dr. Duke and Bronos, they have the high ground. Big stuck back zone. Gotta think he might have been low on mats from that fight they had on high ground.
You got some of this wood that's weak on their back towers, you know, that they didn't end up coming back over. I mean, if that gets shot out, they might be dead there with that.
Previous
Tyler
winners
trying to
back
get a
on
team.
the low ground. Prius, Swinex, not our winners, however, our first place team. Back on the low ground, low HP. Seems to be where they thrive though. That low ground fragging out. Beggs going
Bronos
down in the
goes
kill feed.
down.
Brono's going down in the kill feed. 11 Elims on this team.
You know, you got Duke up
Going
on height.
pulling up a
with
mountain.
13,
This
he's
could
coming
be
up to
tragic
height.
for some of these teams. Duke no longer on the high ground.
So Durfee on height now. It's high ground.
Kairo's getting ahead of zone. Duke stuck back zone, getting
There goes
eliminated in
Duke
top
by
8.
kickback.
Swinex has the chug cannon yet again. We saw this be very useful in their previous game. Used it to get that top 3.
Nice
Another
shot by
elimination.
Cairo.
Pretty gifted to
And
it.
there's that gold pump. That gold pump can hit up. They made it good, where it can only do with 203 damage now with the headshot.
This is the only
that's-
shotgun in the game that can one-shot a full health opponent. Gotta see if they put that they use taking high ground. Eliminating Derpy. Top 3 situation. Take back
Yeah,
figure.
you gotta wonder, Kairos and Swinex winning this.
Yeah, Swinex definitely on a little bit low health, low builds, only 0 builds to his name, in fact, Kairos. Now 20 builds dropped by his
Swinex with the
teammate.
chopper cannon. Now it's a 2v2.
Figment gonna go down in top 2
situation.
situation. You gotta think they secure first after this game, whether win or lose. Think on
Well,
the
nice
4
heading by
vibes.
Kairos. In that box, that's going to give him some free hits to lower kick back.
Huge pump
Vibes almost
out of Kairos. 4 vibes on low HP. Kickback actually putting in a lot of damage. 2 HP.
and there's
Kairos
game.
closes out the game
Kairos-
with their Game 3 victory royale.
And that was the team at the top of the leaderboard. They're gonna have a big lead going into Game 4 on West. Here's the beginning, one of the beginning fights we saw at the beginning.
This was the
Between
fight
Seven-
off spawn
Rocky-
between Nate's team and Seven's team. I believe Rocky gets eliminated here by Matty. Insane play, really great play to use that AR there. Full spray into the box, gets the elimination but does get eliminated. Eventually resulting in Seven's elimination here by Harsh and Control. See D-Line take out Cran
And they
Fam.
both ran.
That spawn fight over at Lazy Lake, taking
there's
the L,
that
asserting his
AVGL.
dominance.
And then here's the bait kill we saw between Duke and Branos on Bazooka. And
Yeah, this
D-Line.
fight was absolutely fantastic. They played that so well. Absolutely amazing showing from them this game.
And
Not
here's a
sure
nice
where they're going to end up.
here's a
That
nice
beam
team.
too. That might be the
We
best
had
beam
some
I've seen.
Yeah, definitely. This was definitely a good game to see. 100%.
And we just saw this the end of the game with Kairos and Swinax taking home the victory
Taking Game
royale.
3.
Game 3 in the books. Kairos, Swinax taking the victory royale. Gotta think they're in first place, holding down to first place. You think?
Oh yeah, definitely. They took first, had some good kills. I think they had 9, 10 kills easily. I mean, you know what? There's still 2 more games to come. We have 2 more West games, 1 more East games to go. But you know what? It's possible these next 3.
Still more Fortnite to play. We're only halfway through AVGL Summer Series Grand Finals. We'll catch you for Game 4 after the break.
Skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing. I can see the end now, almost in my memory. No more waiting for a sign now. It's time for me to leave. As the world closes on the door of what we came to be, I regret nothing. I can set my mind free. I know you too well. I'm up on the roof and yell. Learned all that I know, and we put on quite a show. And I'd be lying if I said I'm coming back. I just wanna go, I wanna walk away. Never wanted to love you anyway. Guess I should've known, won't pick up the phone. Go on and watch me fade. When you see the lights fading in the night, know that I'm fine alone. I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing. I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running down. I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running, I'll be running for the skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. Skyline, sun in my eyes. No music, but I'm dancing.
Would you care to join my company?
Welcome back. Before we get into the leaderboard, if you want to hop into some of the AVGL action this Saturday, AVGL trials. All high school and college students within the United States are eligible. $500 prize pool. Top 6 are invited to a Boom TV event featuring some of the best players in North America, including Cease, Creo, and Eclipse.
Yeah, definitely something to look forward to this Saturday. If you want to give it a shot, top 6 teams qualify. That could be a big opportunity. Here we
Take
go
a look
into
at
the
the
leaderboard.
leaderboard, though. Kairos, Swinex, way ahead of the competition.
Vibes
Biggs
and
and
kickback
Mars.
in night. Beggs and Mars dropped definitely fourth. Wasn't like they've had the last 2 games are kind of rough for them. They still got time to make this comeback. I mean, Duke and Brano jumped from 10th to 7th. That's big. They got 3 more places and they're making money. We
Yeah,
still
you
got this West Coast game coming.
gotta think Duke and Bronos, with how aggressive they're playing, to not get that return, making it all the way top 4. A little disappointed, but they are moving up, which is good to see. I hope they can continue to make this push. They're trying to make their most aggressive team in the lobby by far, making that aggressive play for high ground, aggressively pushing these teams, looking for these snipes through walls. Vive's kickback, having a few great games in a row, up to second place. River and Hits, haven't seen much of them, but they are playing well. They're playing consistently. They're putting points on the board, and they're all the way up to third. But at this point, it's still anyone's game. Good game. Gets you from 10th, probably up to third place.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they're coming down to almost like if Cairo and Swinex, hold the top 10 the next 2 games, they're chilling. Here we go in game 4 on the West Coast servers. Big Riven hits both of the hits. They're going for that slurp truck right outside of Slurpee. In between believers, here we got Kran and Seabass.
Nate, this is a new set of teams at 7. I don't think is here. It's a triple contest.
I think 7 is here. He might be on where they always land. But Seabass and Maddie and Nate might go down quite early though this game because they don't have much material to fight with. Looks like one's got a bolt action sniper. Maddie's got nothing. Maddie almost gets a knock. Nate gets one weak, and they both go down. Wow, nice play by Nate. Honestly.
Nate picking up the 2 eliminations. Maddie not getting full killed. Gonna pick up those 2 elims, full shield, using that tack to his advantage, getting the res. Gotta be happy with that off spawn. Another team to worry about though. I believe there were 3 teams there.
Yeah, definitely. There's still that one more team lurking around there. But here we go back to Hits and Riv, right at the H house. Trying to loot up where that slurp truck is and stuff. They use that slurp truck to their advantage. They're getting full shield. That's big. Those will heal you a lot.
Yeah,
and
taking this split loot path gets them a lot of loot. Don't have to deal with the confrontation that other teams have to deal with at different POIs. Retail row, 3 teams. Another team added to the mix with Sap Games, I believe, still at the Blacktops. Willcry and Statics, that team we saw win the fight with the Deagle in game 2. Also here, Rocky and 7 have opted to actually move to retail.
They might be looking for a little less aggressive game this time, just because of, the first couple, like that last game, they did great in Slurpee, but Rocky got full thirsted. 7 got the tag team there, it's just, I guess in a way smarter for them to, try to take the better path of not trying to play aggro as much.
They are triple contesting this POI. I can't imagine their loot is that great, but they do have that full shield. So they have to be doing good for themselves. Insane loadout on 7, actually. The blue tag, Scar, the Deagle. 2 big pots. That's a good loadout. I gotta wonder what Rocky's rocking with.
And there's a llama right there for them.
Their loot's fantastic for a triple contested POI.
Yeah, definitely with the new update with the llama, those are tricky. You want to box them up in a box. Once you get them trapped in a box, it's kind of, that's free loot right there for you. Free loot, free mats, the free slurp cannon, that's huge. And there it is.
Slurp cannon is a win condition for some teams. We haven't really been seeing these games go to the full close of the 9th zone, but if one does, you better hope you have a slurp cannon in your inventory to win that heal off.
Now or even floppers, medkits, those are big too in the end game, but that slurp cannon, because that slurp cannon does take time to regen on, being able to use it. That's going to take time for you to even be able to try to use.
ARCK Derpy back at Corny Complex, this time uncontested. Did take a lot of damage from Salone, does have the Salone Mythic Pulse Rifle.
Yeah, that's something you were talking about earlier, thinking that got taken on, that was not in here. But looks like he's dropping it and just grabbing a green AR and dropping his gray AR for this. 5 big pots, green AR, blue tack. I mean, you can't really ask for better loot than that right now. That's it's some minis. That's big too. He's gonna use one of them bigs though. So, and you really can't complain. There goes Willcry down by Sap Games. They're trying to get their revenge from last
with
game.
The high ground working out this game. using that high ground to their advantage, getting the kill on Will Cry, probably gonna take out Statics, just spraying, using their ammo. Statics only 26 builds up, just gonna get sprayed out. Woods not enough to protect him there. 2 eliminations on Sap Games making their comeback. I haven't seen them make those pushes to late game, dancing on them, telling them it's our second half of the game. Game 4, Game 5, Game 6, you gotta think they're trying to make their comeback here.
Yeah, definitely. And there's still, like we keep saying, there's plenty of time to do so. You know, you just need to have some of these teams at the lower part of like Frosty in them. We haven't seen them, Frosty and Mel, we haven't seen at the leaderboard. But you know what? All they need to do is have the next 3 great games, placing top 10 and maybe getting 2 victory royales back to back. That'll be huge. You know, anything's possible.
Back-to-back victory royales, reminiscent of Duo World Cup, where Aqua and Nyrox were able to come back from that huge deficit with their 2 back-to-back victory royales. Up here in Slippery Swamp, back in a fight. Huge kill by Nate with the full box. Going for the second elimination. Looks like he's taking this 1v2 fight. Huge pump, great piece control. Taking these walls. Teammate Maddie actually to go down, but Nate is able to finish the fight.
You know, a nice launch pad there for loot, some bigs, some minis. Still got some great loot there to hold on to, 100%. 7 gets a kill
getting elimination
on
in the.
Here's our leading duo right now in this tournament, Kairos and Swinex. You know, this is definitely a great team to look out for. You know, this all they need to do is have 3 more great games back to back to back, and they'll win this with ease.
They are building quite the lead. A lot of teams coming in around Craggy Cliffs. You gotta wonder if they're trying to build up on dead side, this northern side of the zone on the edge. Would be regarded as dead side. Less teams expected to be up here due to its proximity to the edge of the map. 7 with that gold pump.
Wow,
shotgun.
Almost gave him the third gun. And there goes the LMC team. There's a team right to the
incredible
right.
loot for where he landed this game.
Yeah, definitely. For both of them, especially Purple Tack, you know, this looks amazing.
This is the best loot I've seen all day for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't put together a game reminiscent of what we just saw Bronos and Duke make. Maybe like a 10 kill super aggro playstyle heal. 7 actually way ahead of Rocky. Maybe looking for the next team for them to fight.
You know, I believe I saw Mello and Frosty Mello and Frosty up in Corny. Maybe trying to contest the guys we saw there off rip. You know, here we go with the Storm fight. You know, people trying to hold people off in Storm. Difer and Sergeant Walsey versus Shad and Yurak on iPod and iPad. Harsh takes out Main Flames. Yurak just about dead. He's gonna die to Storm. Just do it. Shad and iPad gets Sergeant Walsey.
This fight. Difer actually gonna opt not to save his teammate, but instead they'll pad away. 9 ticks stuck in this 1 tick Storm. Not gonna be able to pop this med kit. Might be dead to Storm. Difer not gonna be happy with that fight. Troll and Harsh, however, holding in Storm, pushing into Storm, maybe looking for healer.
John. Looks like
John
a 1v2
he is
here.
solo. Harsh control,
Yeah,
fantastic
John's solo
loadouts
here.
as well.
And there's
Purple
a team up
legendary
on their
assault
right,
rifle.
the first place team right here up on their right. You know, they may try to get this free pick on John. You gotta wonder, are Harsh and Control gonna try to kill them from behind? And then you have them pushing up from behind Phoenix and King.
An
This is going to
early
turn into a crazy
elimination
fight right here.
onto Kairos and Swinx would have the possibility of shifting the leaderboard entirely. We'll just have to wait and see. Kairos
And
getting that kill on the John 2K 2020 we saw was a solo player getting
Swinx
fully
beat.
eliminated. Fishix and King gonna push this fight.
You know, Harsh just missed some shots there that he should have had. You know, Bloom is tough in this game, seems like sometimes now compared to before. Just seem to get the best. Wow, nice
King
beams out
and
of
Fishix
Harsh.
opt to back out, but taking a ton of damage. King actually getting knocked by Harsh. Launch padding, trying to secure these elims.
Now you gotta wonder, are Kairos and Swinix gonna try to W key this almost, or spray at him?
You gotta
Oh,
wonder
they're
if they want to
pushing
take
this
advantage
button.
of this situation. Physics on close to 0 health.
Blank out of
Harsh-
Physics gun. That's
Harsh
gonna
gonna
cost
take
him
that
there.
wall and take that elimination. Clean fight from them. No damage taken.
Yeah, definitely.
4 more points on the board.
Physics definitely got unlucky there with the blanks on his 2 shotgun shots. Now you gotta wonder, are Physics and Kairos and Swinix gonna sit here on height here and just try to beam? Controlling
Stealthy
Harsh.
stronghold,
You have
definitely
Ryan
a
and King right
strong
here.
position.
Definitely for high ground, for people incoming from, like, you know, craggy and stuff. People that have to come from that island. That this is a good spot to hold them from, especially with that high ground.
Jump on over to Amaze Kid and Jacob, who seem to be in some sort of fight. Jacob with the purple, incredible loadout to both these guys. Legendary pumps and assault rifles, along with the slurp cannon, launch pad in the inventory, extra big pods on the ground. They gotta be thinking they can make something out of this game for sure.
Yeah, definitely they have all this extra mat laying around that they're gonna go back and pick up to bring up in their box. Definitely with all these bigs too. I mean, this is a decent amount of stack of bigs. Looks like there's about 5 or 6 bigs here. They have to
Biggs
use
and Mars
plus that.
swimming up north in the distance, trying to get to that center zone position. Maybe base up on one of those hills. Zone is
Biggs
going to
looks
pull
like he gets
north.
sniped. I think Biggs got sniped there for a 105 tag.
D-Linen, Azuki, Slurp Cannon, running into coral. It seems probably a safer rotate than to swim outside. Jacob and the Maze Kid making use of the extra teals they got from the previous fight they were in.
Looks like Jacob's gonna tarp it out really far, you know, to be able to get that advantage. So that when they do need
There
to
is
go into
no
search.
way this gets them to zone, and there's no one around them. It's a very interesting play. He's gonna have to run all the way back through his tarp. I'm a
Oh,
little
he's definitely
confused by
gonna,
that one.
gonna drop all his masks and then go back for the rest, so he doesn't have to keep running back and forth. Nice use of Pepper, if you ask me. You know, he's even got Amazing trying to go back and forth for him to make it a little bit easier, so he can bring him back and forth as well.
But they're now on the south side of zone. Max pull north. Haven't moved to zone at all. Maybe making a little fun out of the situation.
You know, this could turn out really good for them, or it's going to turn out really bad. Looks like Prem and Dodie are going to take height on the old POI of Shark, where the Mythic Scar used to be in the mythic.
Grappler.
Yeah, the mythic. Yeah,
Basing up on the head of
Mythic.
Shark, not in zone, however, gonna have to either build in or move to a new position. Duke and Bronus have a pretty strong high ground position on the south side of zone. Biggs and Mars a little bit farther in. See on the Lighthouse Island, Nate and Maddie over on the left side, harsh control. A little bit to
and then
the
you got
east of
Sap
them.
and Clumsy.
D-line
this-
maybe trying to make
this
a
hold on Shark isn't
on
gonna
those
hold
players
well.
from Shark. Big Riven hits Bull of that team we saw within the top 4. High ground position.
Bull's just one of these snipes on one of the incoming teams that's going to be huge. You know, that's going to get a lobby focus going and everything. T-Guy and Wiggs holding out Dodia and Prem from taking height on Shark.
Gonna be an easy elimination for T-Guy and Wiggs. Prem gonna try to heal up before he makes it the rest of the way to zone. Zone pulls all the way to the Lighthouse Island. Prem gonna be max distance from that. T-Guy and Wiggs
T-Guy
hoping to
and-
pick up another elimination from this duo.
They're just patiently waiting to pick Prem off, and they know he's coming. Like, there's no other way for him not to be able to come unless he has a launch pad to use that for late rotation to pad over everyone and try to make it to
launcher?
the lighthouse. Or...
If Wiggs and T-Guy wait too long here, they risk getting held in zone. Gonna actually make the north rotate.
And there's that hold you were talking about. You know, the team, that Bull and Riv team are trying to. One of them just hit a nice snipe. Bull hit a
Take
nice
the
snipe
body
on Wig.
snipe. Damage returned from T-Guy. Prime gonna reuse these builds likely to get themselves into zone. Crews and Swin actually
see
see
Swinix
rebuilding
and
out this
Pyro here.
house. Refreshing their materials.
Like we see Riven hits on height right now. It looks like, you know, if that goes in their favor, they're gonna be, they'll be fine.
If we
for
see
most
a
of this
north-
game, you know.
If there's a north pool half zone here, all those teams clustered on the bottom right corner of your map you see on the southeast side of zone, probably half of the teams are along that edge. It's gonna be hard to rotate.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only way they'll be able to rotate is by pad, and even with that, they might get super unlucky with getting shot out the sky. I mean, we saw Control beam someone up. We saw Control hit a nice shots in last game when someone was trying to hit a pad. You know, doesn't take much to beam someone.
And you gotta consider these are the best collegiate duos in North America. They're gonna hit their shots. These aren't your average players.
Yeah, exactly. These guys train in scrims constantly.
Zone
you
actually
know,
pulls
even-
southeast.
This is gonna be a
So
hard pull for.
Hezbollah and Riv max distance from zone.
Tyler.
They're gonna definitely be upset about that one with their height position.
Yeah, see this team right here in front of them, which is the top team right now in first, Winix and Kairos. You know, if they get a beam right here like they want to, they take out this team, they can, you know, this leaderboard gap shrink 100%.
See Nate and Maddie opting to use a launch pad over on the right side of your screen. Nate getting beamed, however, gliding in, popping his minis, not looking like not gonna be much consequence of that. Hits Bulla, getting a launch pad from that airdrop, which could be huge, given the next zone pool. Not in zone yet, might even opt to use it now to get up this hill.
And we saw one of these uphill fights earlier in game
Swin
one,
actually goes down to Nate.
where Begum.
One of our first place players eliminated. I'm not sure if Kairos went down. may have. 7 and Rocky,
Rocky
picking
taking
up
out
2
Red, and-
eliminations.
7 taking up 1.
I'm not
And here
seeing
comes all this Red.
Kairos. I think Kairos and Swinex were both taken out on this rotate.
No, Kairos is behind,
huge
right above
opening.
Prem. Kairos is right above Prem. There goes Derpy, and here goes Derpy, down by Nate. You know, he sees that launch pad, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go for that. That's gonna be great mobility to
Big.
use, especially even with the peppers too.
Potential pop-off game for Nate and Maddie here. 6 elims on the board coming into first moving. Kairos is alive, I was mistaken. Bronos and Duke on the
Nice
current
knife
high
by
ground,
Brono.
ahead of first moving, possibly going to be able to hold this for the rest of the game. RSDK falling to Nate.
Yeah,
Mars
and that's not the
padding.
best. Wait a minute. You know, there looks like there's old builds to the left behind them, kind of in stealthy already, that they're gonna use.
Biggs and Mars
Yeah,
going to
Mars
crank
is
up
gonna-
front side of zone, going to contest Duke and Brono saying, we're not giving up first place this easily, playing that high ground they're so well known for, as we saw in the first game.
You know, Mars is about to
Mars
get shot
actually
out here.
getting
and
beam
he's-
shot out. Not
Bola taking out
launchpad
Kai.
back zone. Huge damage from Duke. Brono's maintaining this high ground. Biggs getting knocked by Nate. Full eliminated by
gotta
Maddie.
go for-
Kairos, our first place player, goes down. Our first place duo is out of the
But
game in
Kairos didn't-
top 15. Mars still alive
Mars taking
as a
out
solo.
And you wonder, are Bronos and Duke gonna take this game? You know, last game they did have fight, and they kind of lost it to Kairos and Swinex. You know,
They have
this
been
could
playing
be
a lot
their
safer
game.
this game. Maybe a new focus on these placement points. That Victory Royale is so many. 7 points for just that Victory Royale. 7 padding ahead of zone. Nate fighting Bronos on height. Bronos getting a huge pump, trying to chop him out, getting beam, hitting another huge pump. Dying to
And there
fall
goes
damage,
Bronos.
unfortunately. Dr. Duke still fighting us spawn. Getting that kill onto Maddie. Nate still up on the high ground with these peppers. Duke padding ahead. Nate on an 8-kill game, trying to make this a huge game, shift them up the leaderboard as a solo. Still fighting Dr. Duke, also a solo. Brono's being eliminated.
Duke dying to fall
Dr.
damage.
Duke actually died to fall damage. This is
Frosty
Nate's-
dying to storm. Frosty
Mars
dying
getting
to
another
storm.
elimination. 7 Rocky, a duo still up.
Melo's still down
Control
here.
alone without Harsh.
Now you gotta wonder, is Melo
Mars
gonna,
still
make
up.
this big good game right here? Nate's trying to hold this high ground as much as possible.
Still 22 builds to his name. Pepper's potentially still a launch pad. Mars on low HP, full shield. 7 and
Duke on
Rocky,
this side storm.
Control and Harsh, the only duo still up potentially. Looking at Rocky and 7 gonna pad die. Rocky gonna fall to low ground, however. 7 gonna fight for height against Nate. Nate still 26 builds, nothing to be
Nate down
upset
on the same
about
height
in
is
this endgame.
7.
Still fighting 7. Harsh and Control on the low ground. 8 kills! Huge game from them. Chug Cannon, low ground secured. They can get these eliminations. A lot of damage on 7. Getting knocked by Rocky. Rocky and 7 gonna quickly clean up Harsh and
Looks like
Control.
this game.
7 with no mat's gonna get knocked. Rocky set in a 1v2. And Nate and
Nate.
Maddie take game 4. A huge game. 10 eliminations. Incredible. Nate as a solo, taking home the victory round. Looking back at the replays from game number 4. This Cran fam off spawn taking out Maddie, but then dying to Nate are game 4 winners.
Great
Huge
tack
2 kills
shots
there.
for Nate, honestly, there.
He didn't miss. Did not miss. Saw Statics and Will Cry lose their fight to Sapic Games and his duo partner over in Retail Row, a fight we've been seeing throughout all 4 games. That box was so clean. That's going in the montage for Nate for sure. Just fantastically played. Early game, mid game, late game. Nate, Maddie showed up big.
They definitely showed up where they needed to this game. 100%. You know,
Seven Rocky, that team we saw get 2nd place. Nothing to be ashamed of. Huge kills throughout. It's that fight we saw between Control and Harsh over on the Flopper Island.
and here's that Stormhold we were talking about earlier from T-Guy, Wiggs, on-prem, and here's Duo. And here we go down to the ending where Seven and Rocky drop down, killed Control and Harsh.
Yeah, Control and Harsh, no materials there on low ground. Being picked up by Seven and Rocky. However, Seven and Rocky also low materials and easy cleanup for Nate as a solo. See getting that victory royale. Watch it back again. No doubt Seven and Rocky move up the leaderboard, but Nate clutching up as a solo for getting that victory royale in a game number 4. What more do you want to see?
I don't know, man. There's so much more to come, honestly. Game 5 going back to the East Coast. You know, Seven and Rocky were doing great there. Nate and Maddie with the 2 pumps there to, you know, that was big. That they ended up winning the game off that kind of. And that was, you know, they played it well, they played it smart, and honestly, we still have 2 more games to come. 1 more East, 1 more West.
Well, I'm excited to see you. We'll see you for game 5 after this break.
We've gone too far. Light a fire underneath me. Let it swallow me whole. Feel it all around me. Should've done what I was told. Now I'm stuck in oblivion, lost in time. Everything I've done, forgotten unless I survive. Nobody wonders where I've gone. stuck in oblivion, lost in time. Everything I've done, forgotten. Gotta make it out alive. Light a fire underneath me, let it swallow me whole. Feel it all around me. Should've done what I was told. Now I'm stuck in oblivion, lost in time. Everything I've done, forgotten. Gotta make it out alive.
Welcome back. We're here to see how the leaderboard shook up after game 4. Before we go into game 5, see if Swizzix can hold the first place position still. And they do. Krios and Swinix still in first place, followed by Vibes and Kickback. Nate, our game 4 winner. Third place, Mars and Big still holding on to fourth, barely tied with Rocky and Seven.
Looks like we
Dr.
have
Duke and Bronos.
Lacey,
Duke and Bronos, a little bit disappointing performance still, not being able to break it into that top 5, top 4. Gotta wonder what's going wrong. They've shown they have that Elam potential, that explosive potential, ability to take that high ground, not seemingly being able to close out those games. Maybe we'll see something new in game 5. Bronos being that professional player from Team Kungarna.
We see William and Statics coming in, popping up on the leaderboard now in 10th with 88 points. So, I mean, we have game 5 coming on the East Coast servers, and then we have one more game after this on the West. Here we
Jumping
go,
right
game
into it,
5.
John. 2K22. Gotta wonder, is he landing Misty? This is a bit of a high drop for Misty. Maybe landing on the satellite dish south of Misty. Potentially. Did see his teammate Mayan Flames pick up some eliminations earlier, potentially contested out the spawn. D-Line taking a little bit of damage at Lazy. Looks like there might be 2 teams here. 7 getting elimination off spawn and then being taken out by Statics. Rocky also falling. Rocky and 7 tied for 4th place going to game 5, taken out off rip off spawn.
Looks like Willcry dies to fall damage, maybe.
Zuki and D-Line, who we previously saw win this spawn fight. I'm not sure if it was against these players. A Maze Kid, I believe we saw in the previous end game.
Looks like we got a little less teams this game.
D-Line actually popping this medkit in the open. Potential risk. Maze Kid still no shield. His teammate Jacob Skewer at the gas station, potentially getting pinched in a 2v1 here. Might spell disaster. Big pump from D-Line onto Jacob. A Maze Kid nowhere to be found right here, Jacob's teammate. Try to run away back off to his teammate, taking a lot of damage, 76 HP. D-Line taking a ton of damage as well in return. A Maze Kid taken out by a headshot snipe from Azuki. And Jacob's gonna be taken out by Azuki as well. A clean fight from the team from UNH. Even a dance to top it all off.
This game looks like it's starting out really good for fight-wise, and you know teams know that if they're not placing on that top 10, they know they need to make something big happen, and it's got to be this game. These next 2 games are their do or die games. They don't come up with something here. They're just
definitely the last chance for some of these teams to secure their share of the $25,000 prize pool here at the AVGL Summer Series Fortnite Grand Finals. We see the first time we see the new Ferrari vehicle in the game. Recently added it today, actually. Figment in a fight.
Yeah, so
A kill in the Mayan Flames. Camp Cod actually is where this fight is occurring. Popular POI last season due to the available gears. Often considered not as viable in full lobbies. Lower lobbies with the top 35 teams allows this POI to be more playable.
Definitely, this place Cape Cod and the junk car place off by right outside Dirty Docks was pretty big last season, just due to the car parts that you could get to, you know, upgrade your shotguns, your ARs, and all that. Definitely worth. Those 2 places were definitely big for that type of stuff, especially Dirty Docks being one of those places as well, kind of. But more so Cape Cod and Dirty, the junk cars.
Dirty Docks, not something I've seen a lot of today. A lot of central zone pools.
Yeah.
Unsure of who's landing there. mini junk location, also very useful over by Dirty Docks. PY great for fishing, a lot of floppers if you like making storm plays. Perhaps this is what Figment's team is looking for. Jump on over to Aero CK and Derpy in a fight at Corny Complex, fighting Mellow and Frosty, April Anarchy champions.
You know, this is a team that I said from the beginning I'd like to see do well. I mean, like I said, they need to have a great game. Any team that wants to make any type of big comeback, they need to do it here. It's like I said, it's a do or die. They make something big happen here. They'll be good going into the last game, 100%.
Our first place team, Kairos and Swinax, actually also in a fight over by Craigie, fighting Bronos and Dr. Duke. Potentially Dr. Duke and Bronos trying to make their play for first place, trying to take out the first place team. Often a common strategy. First place team may be more nervous going into the final games than other teams you could fight. Bronos on low HP, however.
And Swinix trying to take advantage of that low HP on Bronos. I mean, he's still not, he's still good health, but he's just not, as healthy as he would want to be. He's gonna try to make his way now.
Health advantage onto our first place team. Obviously, Mellow get taken out in the feed. Aero CK getting taken out by Frosty, as known as Chief of Peace on your screen, referencing his peace control skills, I'm assuming. Stuck in a 1v1 situation with Derpy.
Gonna use those mats to great advantage. As Derpy doesn't have as much mats as Frosty does, and Frosty looks like he's gonna push up and try to,
9 builds to Derpy's name. Very little peace control within this building.
Most of the stuff isn't even his, so he's just trying to take advantage of what he can.
Saw Kairos take out Dr. Duke in the kill feed. Frosty actually gonna opt to leave this fight. Maybe make a play for the reboot van. Seems like there is a team near the reboot van, however. Actually leaving, going for that airdrop to the east of Corny. Sap Games. Maybe looking for the continuation of this fight against Statics and Willcry.
And you got a team on the mountain.
Deagle falling into Clemency's hand this time instead of Willcry's. Huge beam coming out of Sap. 100 damage.
It looks like Statics is going to try to take the zip line. Oh, maybe not. He's going to try to take Kite on top of Blacktop to try to get a good beam off him.
Yeah,
that doesn't
this
look
team
like
fully separated.
Yeah, you have another
third party coming
team
in from the mountain.
Right off that caddy corner.
Willcry actually get taken out by that team on the mountain, Shad on iPod.
Nice team by Sap. Sap's in a 10-15 HP. Sap's like, okay, he's gonna push that. While Static is trying to get this bed kit off. If he gets it off, he can have 100.
Close this fight out for the second game in a row. Takes that wall with ease. Top corner edit. Dance to show. This is his POI. Back-to-back wins off spawn at retail for Sap and Clemency.
Now, the thing is, are Willcry and Static's gonna try to make something else happen? Here's our game 2 winner, Maddie and Nate. It looks like. Snap trying to get a nice
over
snipe
here
off.
in retail.
Yeah, definitely contested more so than the rest of tonight that we have seen on the other 4 games that we've watched. This game seems more contested over here, almost. You see Nate and Maddie on the Spire. See Prem and Dodia and new Ferraris, as you were talking about earlier.
Definitely not the best vehicle off-road. On-road by far, best vehicle in the game, especially in 2v2, as it only sits 2 players. Gonna find
Definitely,
gas station to be unlooted.
definitely gonna be tough when it comes to like the trios tournaments and stuff. When you play cash cups and stuff, you know, when you had the other vehicles, you know, that's tough to try to, you know, use being only a 2-person car.
Maddie and Nate gonna take this position on top of this spire near retail, a little north of it. Looking for some snipes. Biggs and Mars. Game 1 winners, currently in 4th. Zap Game's actually getting
North
sniped.
gets
I think, not sure. It has to be a snipe. Clemency
Yeah, I got
really
sniped right
far
north.
from him. Zap Game is getting fully eliminated by Maddie. Current 3rd place team. Seems to be another team approaching Clemency. 1v2 situation for him. Does not have control of any of these walls. Gonna opt to be the aggressor in this fight. Gonna take the shield off of Gamma Claw. North Register gonna play very aggressive here. Gonna take a lot of damage. Clemency almost at the health advantage in this fight.
Somebody trying to get Sap's reboot card. Looks
Definitely a
like he's gonna
difficult
try to hit up the
situation to
thing.
be in another team, maybe? Perhaps? No, I don't think so. Seem to have lost Sap, actually. I mean, Clemcy, Sap's duo. Figment and J-May coming in for a third-party attempt.
Clemson trying to get this reboot off to get Sap back up and into this game. You know, this is going to be either big or, you know, this is going to either pay off or it's not. If it doesn't pay off, it's going to hurt their game in total.
Definitely a potential
It's
game
even-
changer here.
Chad and Urak heard it. The reboot go off and they're like, okay, this is a WPVC. You know, this guy, he's only got a great pistol. Sap's only got a great pistol and some minis that Clemson gave him. So then it
Yurik
comes
and
down
Chad
to
have not been very aggressive this tournament. It would be interesting to see if they push that fight. We hop on board with the Red and Ginjit fighting Wigs and T-Guy. Due to low HP, getting knocked, Red having to close out this fight. Huge damage onto T-Guy and Wigs. Red had a huge health advantage here. They can take this wall.
knock down the T-Guy. Get his theirs. Maybe try to
His
hit a
teammate
mini and a
unfortunately
big.
getting fully eliminated.
Wig's gonna take advantage of that health. Gain of health again. And Red ready for him. No, outside there. He's gonna try to hold him. Looks like multiple teams are gonna try to hold Red in with.
Zone pulls past Lazy Lake. Don't really want this fight to last any longer. Potentially a game that is over for both of these teams if this fight lasts any longer. No White heals
And
on
there
red
goes
treats a
Wiggs.
medkit from Wiggs. Maybe gonna look for that reboot card, eventually reboot in Lazy Lake in Storm. Zone will go 5
And now
tick, I
he's got
want to
a
say,
crazy
after
amount
this
of maps.
closes.
Nice amount of
Actually, not
maps.
the
You know,
launch pad in.
now it's going to be very tough to even try to. I don't even think he has a way to reboot in this circle. You know, he's going to have to play
There is
solo out here.
no reboot van left in zone. Gonna be taken
And there
out by
goes Red.
Hitzbula. Team within the top 10. Still alive in this game. We're going to use that car with those chonker wheels added last season, allowed it to move faster, especially off-road. See Figment rotating by himself, the far side of zone. Harsh Control, King and Fishhead still alive.
There goes little Bath Matt. You know, that's the first time I've seen of him today in today's games.
Did have some fights earlier today. Not sure
There
if
goes
he's...
the Figment down to Clemsy. Remember, Clemsy got his
Believe
teammate
Figment-
Sap up.
Fleet Figment was a solo player. That could be a huge refresh for them to get them back into this game, as Sap had to be rebooted pretty late into this game during the third zone.
Yeah, definitely could be a good refresh in general and good, you know, just better loot than what Sap may have or what he could have had. Looks like LMC's teams are going down.
Very interesting thing about this current fourth zone. South half of this zone is very crowded compared to the north half, and the north zone required almost every team to rotate, aside from that one team currently based at the radio dish. Recently
Here
added
go the
this season.
fireflies. They'll damage to you through your wood, and it won't do as much damage to wood and brick and metal, but it will definitely do damage to you through the wood, which could affect gameplay for some people. Got 22 King and Rhino sitting on 1 kill. Beggs takes out Fate, LMC Fates. Rhino getting
Swinax
straight
and
up
Crow's
by
gonna go for the double spray here.
Control takes out 80 con. LMC's out.
A lot of our top 4 teams still alive. We did see our top 5 team that was tied for 4th go down off spawn, being 7 and Rocky. Mars Bays, Nate, and Maddie alongside Swaz Krios, all still alive in this game. Alongside
There's
see Biggs and Mars
Biggs
that
and
rotate
Mars.
in the bottom left. See, this was this very north zone pool. Everyone rotating quite quickly. The zone. There's a team fighting in the far south. I can't imagine that
Here comes
fight will
Thirsty
have a
friend
great result for them.
for I Thirsty. and
Huge
Busta
fight for high
come out
ground
hold-
here.
Yeah, definitely. Thirsty and Busta come out on top here. You know, this is either going to work out really well for them or it's going to affect them bad. You know, especially getting shot out or something. It's
Absolutely
gonna, like
torching his hard materials, left to almost only wood. Busta still has a large amount of metal. 500 in fact.
Busta's got a good amount of builds, you know. I mean, now Thirsty's realizing, okay, I don't have hard mats, and he's trying to use that wood to his advantage so he can hold on to those hard mats for endgame.
All 4 of our top 4 teams have made it to top 15 and half out zone, being the 5th zone in competitive games. Interesting to see where first zone pulls if this height team pools zone that could be huge for them. Maybe make a run up the leaderboard. That would be a max pool for Biggs and Mars. It actually does pool for them. So this team has a pretty strong height position right now. So this actually pulls up the mountain. So there is a hill here with this radio dish. And it goes back down, I believe.
Now some people are. Some
Biggs
of
and
these
Mars
guys are
actually
gonna
in front
use
zone.
some of these guys are actually going to use that launch pad that is down there below them to the
Maddie on
advantage. To try to
absolutely zero health. Third at the possibility of having height taken from them from front zone. Staying a little far back. Very high up. Huge
Thirsty
beam on the
getting
third
beamed.
Have to think someone else will try to make a height play here. Maybe that Prem FN. Getting chopped out. Third going down.
No, and then-
Bussa on looks like
and then we
one
were
and
talking
white
about-
health.
That's what
Biggs
we were
and Maddie
talking
both
about,
going down.
you know.
So Winax, Krios still in this in top 13. And second moving. His bullet being quickly eliminated. Big refresh there. Bussa, teammate of Third Sue, on very little HP, gonna be taken out. Derpy taking out
Derpy.
Swizx and Krios. Big Riv
That's
alive
big.
with that chug cannon, so important in these late games. Kickback. Potentially the
No
only
match
trio in
with
top
Big
4
Riv.
still alive. Mars still alive.
If Mars
Potential
wins
leaderboard
this could be a
shakeup
big
here.
comeback.
Mars on height, looks like with 0 materials.
The line comes up on height.
If Mars can find a refresh here, this could be a huge game for Biggs and Mars. D-Line taking the high ground. D-Line actually getting absolutely beamed. Derpy building up for the high ground. And falling, getting knocked by Harsh to
D-Line
control
going
back
down.
to zone. Mars falling down to 4 vibes. Control on a Harsh. Potentially the only duo left in this game. Top 3 situation, top 2. Harsh still up. Derpy and Arrow in a 2v1 versus Control. I mean Harsh. Low materials. But it doesn't matter.
Game
Arrow
5.
and Derpy take game 5. Take back
There's that
at
fight
the
we were talking about at the
replay.
beginning.
Is that fight we saw?
Back in
Clean
Lazy with
fight.
the nice night from Zuki.
Definitely
The
a
D-line
fight-winning
taking-
snipe. Huge difference between last season and this season. The addition of the sniper rifles returned to the loot pool. Here we saw Will Cry get taken out by Shad.
That team.
Team that hasn't found much success up until this point. I think they had a great game this one. Sap Games, clean fight here. We saw eventually get taken out, rebooted, made it into the late game. Ooh, and a close snipe. here we see the Victory Royale Derpy and Aero CK taking Game 5 of the AVGL Summer Series Fortnite Grand Finals. A team we thought would do really good on the West Coast servers taking home an East game Victory Royale. And only one game left to play.
Yeah, and that West game, that last game is the West game. So I mean, if we see the same,
We'll see you for Game 6.
that West game is something.
You're drifting through my fingers every time I think I'm getting close and I call. You know it all. How you wrapped around my mind. You let me fall. You let me fall. You let me fall. You let me fall. Walls are built, all tumbled down. Barriers of a heart I found, and I want it back. I let you in, kept you company, gave until I couldn't breathe. Do you remember that? Just holding on to you is like holding on to smoke. You're drifting through my fingers every time I think I'm getting close and I call. You know it all. How I gave you what I had, I gave it all. But you let me fall, fall, fall. You let me fall, you let me fall. You let me fall. You let me fall. You let me holding on to you.
Welcome back. Game 5 complete. Game 6 loading up the battle bus. But let's check out the leaderboard. In a second. First place, 4 games in a row, if I remember correctly, Krios and Swinax. Barely edging ahead. Harshing Control, huge jump from third. Haven't been in the top 4 all day. Vibes and Kickback maintaining their spot in the second. Hits and River in fourth, barely ahead of Mars and Base in fifth place. Game 6 moving forward is a West Coast game potentially. Time for Derpy and Arrow to shine. Hasn't been huge so far. Rocky in 7. Dynamo Spawn last game. Not the greatest performance, but game 6, our final deciding match, which will decide who takes home their share, the $2,500 prize pool. Zach.
Yeah, definitely. So it seems
Hop
like
into Dirty Docks.
looks like Will
First
Cry
time
and
we've seen
Statics are
Dirty.
contested.
Will Cry and Statics switching up the drop spots, previously contesting Sap and Clemency off spawn and retail, choosing to switch to Dirty Docks, very strong POI. Mars and Base contested off spawn as well. Potentially for the first time, Thirtsu and Busa, which we saw within the top 10, I believe. Sitting in the clock tower. Gotta think Biggs and Mars do not want this fight. 5th place right now?
No, yeah, Biggs and Mars definitely don't want this type of fight, especially being in not too far from, like, just barely being edged out by fourth, you know? Mars has a back end on Thirstu and Bussa, but I mean, they can get shot from either way right about now. If one makes the correct play, this could be honestly the game for Thirst and Bussa. This could be their night, end of their night here. As we were talking about
Everyone
before,
that
and
goes
Dirty
down,
looks like
Mars and Biggs do like to make this gas can play. There are a lot of gas can spawns in Misty, and they like to make those to use those to their advantage. The Swinx pick up another elimination in the feed. Being on the clock tower, fully wood structure like most of the buildings in Misty Meadows, gas can catches everything on fire, makes it very difficult for people to sit on top of buildings or within them. Rooftop angles make this fight a little bit awkward. Thirtsu and Bussa seem to not really be interested in progressing this fight.
No, they definitely don't want to take something, not off rip, not too early, not too late. But I mean, in order to just get something going here, they definitely need to either get some storm surge down.
And the gas can
Seems
is
to
in
me like
play.
a
You see
lot of the
the
team-
entire clock tower being lit on fire. It's part of Biggs and Mars' strategy to fight off spawn at Misty, which is going to push Thirtsu away. It's third party over from the mountainside. Could be a deterrent to this fight occurring. Launchpad in the inventory of Biggs.
Yeah, if Biggs and
tags.
Mars get the, if Biggs and Mars gets his, this could be something big. Looks like Sap's taking out North Register in the kill feed.
Sap Games and Clemency gonna win their spawn fight, in fact.
Which is going to be big for them in general for their fight. So, I mean, can't really complain there. So,
Any team can make huge progress in this last game. A victory royale being 41 points. Complete game changer probably shoot you from maybe even 12th to a top 4.
yeah, definitely some of the teams at the bottom of the leaderboard. I mean, honestly, if they were to have, like I was saying, like, if one team that team that made the play, Derpy and his teammate made that play last game and then won it. If they win this game, they definitely, with a good placement, win it, or good kills with good placement. They have probably a good shot at winning this tournament tonight. Honestly, I mean,
I'd say-
any of the top 4 right now.
Easily. I'd say top 6. Everyone has a chance to take this home. Narrow miss on that headshot snipe coming onto Biggs from red. A little scary. Biggs looking to return a headshot snipe. We would jump over to Lazy Legs, this time uncontested. Purple P90 and purple shotgun, pump shotgun on Azuki. Mellow and Frosty in a fight with Arrow CK and Derpy. Both of these teams, I believe, within the top 10 in shooting range of prize pool. Derpy and Arrow potentially a little closer. See, there is another team approaching from the east side of Corny as the teams exchange shotgun damage. Derpy, chug cannon in inventory. Nice pump onto Frosty, who is Chief of Peace. Good cone place. Insane piece control from Derpy. Gonna full box Chief of Peace. Almost a reversal. Chief Peace gets out of the box. Arrow on full health. Still teammate very low on health, I believe. Mellow aggressing this still. Huge damage onto Arrow. Gonna get the elimination. Fully eliminated. Derpy looking to disengage. This is the last game. There is No advantage to dying here. Launchpad is only going to take him so far. This car, however, could get him to safety. Looks like Mello not interested in pursuing this. Static's taking out Clemcy in the kill feed. That was the previous fight we saw at Retail, but had moved to Dirty Docks. 7 in the distance. In the zone, potentially going to be able to hold Frosty and Mello.
Looks like Mel's gonna try to get this llama to use to get the chug cannon and the mats.
Mars, Biggs, Bussa, still in Misty Meadows. The zone did pull south, so it's not a storm fight. It is interesting that they're still here.
Here we go
Floppers
with top
in
20 placements now.
is top 20 teams. Bussa with 2 floppers in inventory. Floppers have not seen make much of a difference today as we get into this fight with Mello and Sevens duos. Chief of Peace, also known as Frosty, taking a lot of damage. Rocky and 7 on full health. Chug Candy gonna be able to get Frosty back to full health.
I definitely feel like if Frosty and Mello definitely win this fight and start, fragging out here in this, especially going when it comes to moving circles, if they're alive, then, if they start fragging out there, I honestly think they can make a big comeback on this leaderboard.
Definitely a potential snowball effect if they are able to win this engagement.
7 and Rocky are playing really smart right now with the boxing up and stuff, and trying to make this
Rocky
almost like
with
a box
the-
fight.
A legendary heavy assault rifle. 7 taking huge damage, getting fully pieced.
7 goes down.
Goes down to
By cheats.
well-named Chief of Peace. And likely
This
gonna
might be the
knock
end of their tournament right here.
Rocky and 7 out of their chance to get their share of the prize pool, as
There it
Rocky
is.
is eliminated by the Chief of Peace, knowing why he is named so. And potential snowball coming in from Mello and Frosty, playing really well, winning both their fights they've been in, aside from the disengagement from Arrow CK.
Good from Arrow, especially not trying to throw him and Derpy's tournament out the window, taking that.
It'd be very interesting if he is still alive. Not sure as we jump into a fight with King and Physics.
For Static and his duo.
Statics and Will, I believe, who have been playing pretty aggressive in this game. Physics taking a lot of damage potentially from a third party even. 35 health to his name. King taking huge damage in his
There goes
box
King.
even. Static's huge elimination there. With for a snipe. Statics will cry on a 9 eliminations in second zone. 10 eliminations. This is the biggest game I think we've seen so far out of any player.
Compared-
Our highest elimination count I've seen were the 11 kills from both Dr. Duke and Bronos and Biggs and Mars, which were at the end of their games, not the beginning of them. Willcry actually launch padding onto this team.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get a little more aggro this game. I think they are West, so they're definitely trying to play a little bit more aggro to get, to try to get better placement right now and try to get a share of their prize.
It's a great strategy. These teams are undoubtedly a little nervous. It's the
And there
last
goes
game.
Kai
You gotta try to
and
clutch up.
Nate going with the shakedown on Kai.
Looks like a
And you
3
have
team
Static
engagement
and-
here actually.
Yeah. this could go out really well. It's going to go really well for one team, but the other teams, it may not go too well. I mean, Nate and Maddie are in a good placement, to sit there and actually still get a good prize for this money, for this $2,500. But honestly, this can. Maddie just needs to be able to get that chance to heal up so he can, be full HP and stuff, so that he can keep fighting with Nate to win this engagement that he's got going on right now. I think Nate's starting to realize some of this stuff isn't even his builds.
Still trying to make plays. I believe our game 4 winners fighting for their life in this tournament still. Game 6. Really cool how Statics makes that very wide edit beneath him. Really advanced use of piece control. Allows him to easily catch anyone who would to be walked past that. That wide edit makes it likely that a player might think that wall does not exist and catch them off guard. We're actually going to take out Maddie, leaving Nate as his own. We've seen Nate clutch up his victory route actually was as a solo. Would not be surprised if he's able to do it again in game 6, but he is low on health and on the dash from Statics and Willcry.
Doesn't look like he's going to be making out of this engagement. Looks like this will be the end of Nate and Maddie's tournament as well. As we got top 15 placements coming in here. Top 14 teams left.
Willcry is going to take out Nate. Jumping all the way up to 12 eliminations on this duo, 6 apiece. Gotta think this team is making the play. Making a play maybe to win the tournament even. Other side of things, some teams playing for some placement, maybe trying to clutch up a little bit. I believe this team is within the top 10. D-Line and Azuki. Banks getting that kill on those players that were contesting them off spawn. That is a long fight. Willcry getting another elimination onto Frosty. Taking out Mellow as well. That's 14 kills. 14 eliminations. Biggs and Mars in another fight. Dodia, a different player than who they just eliminated. Statics and Willcry on 14 eliminations. This is unbelievable.
This is definitely their game. If they win this, they definitely have the best shot of winning this tournament, honestly.
It is worth noting, however, all these eliminations, a team, if they don't make it to top 5, I don't think it even matters. Fast edits up the hill from Statics.
13 teams left in this fourth zone
Looking for a snipe on Kickback, who I believe is within the top 4. If not, he was definitely previously. Big Riv taking height on the south side of zone, Statics on the north side. Definitely everyone making their plays to win this match. Prem and Dobia launch padding, I guess, to make a play for a potential height pool. Don't believe they were in a poor position previously. A lot of teams hoping zone pulls their way. Next zone is the half in, half out zone. Barely missing the headshot snipe Dodia to opposite height. Willcry still fighting huge pump shots. Insane edit. The piece control right now is unmatched. 16 eliminations, 10 on Willcry, still 20 players left in the lobby.
Yeah, this is definitely Static and Willcry's game to win, honestly. They're playing amazing. They're W-king most of their fights, and they're not holding anything back, honestly, at this point.
They're
They
taking
said,
a lot of
okay, we're
fights,
going
and
to
these
this.
fights are fast.
Yeah, they saw themselves maybe down a little bit lower than what they wanted to be, so they're like, you know what, we're going into this game hot, and we're going out as victory. And
Hey,
honestly, I think what they wanted to do is paying off. 16 kills, top 12. They're going crazy right now.
absolutely. 32 points in eliminations alone. That's almost a Victory Royale worth of placement points. Close to it.
And you still have your top leaders, Swinix and Kairos here. If it comes down to them winning, you see Derpy there, you see Swinix and Kairos, you still have a lot of top duos that are still able to take first place right now. Honestly. But I mean,
First
right
place.
now, Kairos and Swinix need to do something. They need to start putting kills on this board to even try to match Will Cry and Statics, or else
It
they're
looks
taking
like
they're
they've
taking the
pulled
win.
half zone too. They're on height on top of a mountain in half zone in game 6, 16 eliminations, making their play to win this tournament.
Yeah, definitely. There's no other team. I mean, the only way a team's going to take it from them is if they fight. If they have a bad pull where it doesn't want to pull for them, that could cost them right then and there. It's just that one little zone that can mess up their tournament from winning.
John 2K22 looking like a solo rotating to zone, one of the last outside of zone. Not sure if he will be able to make it in.
Yeah, it seems like every game that he's been playing in, it seems like he's a solo for his team. Doesn't seem like his teammates been getting where he needs them to.
Potential off
From what I've
spawn and
seen.
trouble, potentially contested off spawn. We are unsure. Gotta see where this first zone pulls. As I hear the sound in the distance, looks like it pulls down the mountain based on where kickback 4 vibes Mars, Biggs, Statics, Will Cry all quickly moving to get ahead of zone. Unlike Ozuki, who's opting to sit in his box and emote. Fairly close to zone though, I think he'll be okay. They do have a launch pad, but actually planning to use that instead.
Yeah, something like this type of zone. It seems like you want to use the ramp technique where you put the launch pad right above put the stairs above your launch
They could
pad.
put a short pad
do it
to
fun.
good use here. This does descend
Statics
in
knocked out
elevation.
Dodie out of the air.
Mars gets an elimination as
does
well. I think
get
that's that duo combined. Dodia's loot on the ground. A full pad, in fact, on this elevation. Short pad could be used. Statics getting another elimination, or getting that full elimination. Swinnix with the elimination on the Prem. D-line tarping ahead, getting to front side zone. Separated from his teammate.
Statics and White. Statics and Wokai have first
Biggs and
height
Mars
right now.
staying on second height. John 2K22
And then
still
we're-
in the game as a solo.
And Delline and Azuki right below on third height. This is honestly whoever takes height right now can win this.
You gotta think Biggs and Mars are trying to make a play right now.
Oh,
Perhaps
100% they are.
not. Zone pulls
If they try to make
farther
play.
forward. Mars is short padding himself. Biggs following. Low on HP, Statics not be able to get the elimination, dropping down the hill.
Who took height?
Checks if anyone
Someone took
adds
height.
for height. Is there one above them? I don't believe so.
I think there was one that took height.
They are playing awfully sneaky if that is true. John 2K22 still in the game. Tournament eventually ends there. Kickback getting another elimination. Kickback in 4 vibes. We saw it perform well. Biggs and Mars front side zone. This is great. This pulls in a very awkward portion of this mountain. Prius and
You still got your first
Snacks.
place team, Pyros and Swinex here.
Big
Rib
Rip actually
with
gonna
a
get the
nice
elimination, but
knock.
getting knocked out. Kickback getting knocked. Derpy getting an elimination on the harsh. Will Cry, Statics on 18 15 eliminations in the final game.
You know,
This is
Kairos and
unbelievable.
Swinix still being alive. This is
In
gonna
a
be a
top
tight
4
endgame here.
situation.
You got one solo, you got two solos, two duos. Or three duos, one solo.
Swinax and Krios box fighting on low ground against Biggs and Mark. Biggs takes a big pump. Will Cry and Static still on high ground. Lots of mats along with side that Chug Cannon.
We see 19
No
kills out
eliminations
of
in
Static
the
from
feed
Low-Fi right
yet.
now. Kairos goes
Krios getting
down.
knocked out by Biggs. Static's taking out Krios. 2v2v1. Mars with the slurp fish, gonna use it. 5 elims on this duo.
There goes
Swinax
Swinax.
getting taken down. A 2v2
There's-
situation. No mats on Biggs, eventually no mats on Mars.
Static goes down.
Biggs getting taken down. Mars versus Wilcry in a final 1v1. Wilcry with the chug cannon. Mars looks like he has no materials. Would be surprised if he's able to pull this one out. Huge pump from Wilcry.
Right in the bush.
They have
He got him
21
in the bush.
eliminations.
He's gonna play bush.
Mars hoping he can win this game. Couple builds from farming the bush. Needs to hit a huge pump. Possible 200 pump. Huge pump out of Mars all from the low ground. Wilcry gonna pop the minis. And he takes out Mars for a 22 elimination game in game 6. I'm in disbelief. 22
This was a crazy game
elimination.
out of both of them. That should put them in dead first. That should secure the win for them.
That's like
This was a great game out of
we
out
can't
of
be
both of them
sure.
in general.
Biggs and Mars were high up on the leaderboard. We can't be sure. But that's like 85-point game. That is unbelievable. Taking out nearly half the lobby, if I'm not mistaken. Here we see this end game being replayed. This kill on Big Rib, he gets the elimination. Leaving him is taken out. Taking out Kickback, who was within the top 4, leading into game 6. This final fight, huge pump from Mars. You gotta think he had the chance to take it out. Bullcry taking a great angle, hopping off the side, this right hand peak. It was all over. Incredible game. Incredible. Will Cry
Definitely.
and Static.
It was
Unmatched performance. I in a custom format
Yeah.
tournament, I don't
This
think I've
was-
ever seen a performance similar. People
No,
drop
never.
big
I
games
think-
in trio heats sometimes. Against the best collegiate duos of the world, 22 eliminations and the victory royale. Top 4, you don't know. Biggs, Mars, 5th place going into game 6. 2nd place, 5 elims. Maybe 1st place, I'm not sure, with Static and Will Guy were going into game 6.
Yeah, I don't think they had anything on the leaderboard at the beginning of that game. I know Swinix and Kairos were in first by 10, 15 points, maybe a little less than that.
It was close.
roughly. It
And they
definitely
made
was.
it pretty far into that game, if I'm not mistaken. Into the moving
Yeah, I think
circles
they took-
and game.
They took fourth on that game.
4th. That's huge. That could be close. Our top 4 shapes up. I'm not even sure. Kickback, another name. Maybe within that top. I mean, it could be anyone's game. 22 eliminations, though. You gotta think that puts them somewhere in the
In the
top
top
4.
four,
I'd
at
be
least.
amazed if it doesn't.
Yeah.
By far, Bronos and Dr. Deuce-esque. I didn't see them in the last game. Potentially a death off spawn. They're gonna make it not possible for them to make top 4. Reminder. Prize pool: 1st place, $1,000. 2nd, $750. 3rd place will take 500, and 4th, 250, split between each player on those duos. But I mean, what can you say? Potentially Frosty and Mellow, we saw them performing well. Potentially, meta changes didn't work in their favor.
Yeah, it seemed like they were having a rough start at the beginning of the first 5 games. They started, they came out hot there in the sixth, and then just kind of they got rocked honestly by Will Cry and Static.
Yeah, Will Cry and Static looked unbeatable in Game 6. Uh, Incredible performance. I am amazed that we didn't see anything more explosive out of them in the earlier games. We saw them lose fights off spawn to Sab Games Clemency, who didn't have the greatest performance today. I know Sab Games is a fantastic player. I played with him before. Um, we saw that his fight, Sab Games, potentially that contested fight didn't work out for them. Maybe the Dirty Dock switch up we saw in the last game off spawn, they switched to Dirty Docks. Maybe that was the game changer. Switch at the play style, switch at that POI drop spot. Could be the whole game for them.
Yeah. And if, like we said, anything's possible here in this on the leaderboard now. It could be anyone taking this. It could be Will Cry and Static. It could be, they definitely put up a show. They definitely showed up last game, and that was something incredible to watch going into the last game. And I think they're East players. They could be West. I'm not 100% on them. But honestly, truly, truly, such a great game out of them for 22 kills plus the victory royale.
I'm getting word. We have the final leaderboard to see who takes home first ever AVGL Summer Series. It is actually Kyrios and Swinx in first place, followed by Mars Biggs in second. Vibes, 4Vibes, Kickback, William Cry, and Statics with their 85-point game pushes them all the way to 4th place. An incredible performance in that last game. Mars and Biggs showing that their consistency works out, but Kairos and Swinx, fantastic throughout the day. They held their lead from game 2?
Game 2 or 3, yeah. Game 2 or
3. No one could even get close to them. 10-point difference, close leaderboard.
Yeah, that victory definitely would have put Mars and Beggs, I think, honestly, in first there.
It would have been close for sure. Definitely close. It would have moved without that victory royale. Will Cry, Statics, 5th place. That's crazy. They took victory royale. All it took. Well, that is going to be it from me and Zach. Huge thank you to AVGL for hosting the AVGL Summer Series featuring Fortnite. Thank you for the presenting Ashland University. And don't forget, if you want to be part of the action this Saturday, AVGL Trials, $500 prize pool, top 6 duos, earn spots to compete in the Code Red tournament featuring professional players like Cease and Eclipse. Don't want to miss it. Sign up now, avgl.org. High school students, college students, all eligible. Go check it out. You don't want to miss it. That's all it from me, Archers, at Archers on Twitter. You'll see it on the screen. Zach?
You guys can also follow me on Twitter at ZacharyCorey8. It was a great time hosting with you, Archers. Shout out once again to AVGL. Don't forget to sign up for the AVGL the tournament on Saturday to possibly play with the top 6 qualifying to play with Cease, Eclipse, and Creo. It'll be a great time to show what you got for skill. And shout out once again to Ashland University for hosting today.
Remember to tune back tomorrow, 7 Eastern, Warzone Summer Series Finals. And I'll see you on the Battle Bus.
I'm off the shit with my brothers. Keep lethal weapons and Glover. First make a young nigga thugger. You know best friend is a cover. Girl on me bouncing like flubber. Boy young with money like stunner. 300 a pint pour all summer. Shoot on sight if you fuck with my come up. Your boy got a license to stunt this. Shoot on sight isn't right, but we gun it. Sippin' Sprite pour all night at the function. Yeah, we bump 21, ain't no jumping. Through the X and the X did the dumb shit. Said I rock 101, how I've done shit. In your eyes, see you jump if I smoke this. Pump an X when I flex with the youngin'.
Your boy got a license to stunt this. Shoot on sight isn't right, but we gun it. Sippin' Sprite pour all night at the flight at the funk. Pull up to the club.
I can't do this right now.
Your boy got a license to stunt this. Shoot on sight isn't right, but we gun it. Sippin' Sprite for all night at the funk.
nights is a setup. Dripped out, hit the toe, beat the ghetto. Said the young and be stunting in any sweater. You think you could do it better, but really could never measure. Got a Glock engraved with your name on it. It's a special designs, this is a game for me. Tiptoed on the beat in Balenciagas. Dipped out of your crib in my Gucci floppers.
Your boy got a license to stunt this. She gon' say this and right when we done it. Took the spike all night and we find it. The funk, pull up to the club. Pop them.
I can't do this right now.
Y'all fucking hit me with the fuck.
I'm up the shit with my brothers. He beat the weapons and Glover. Let's make a young nigga thugger. You know best friend is a cover. Girl on me bouncing like Glover. Boy young with money like Stunner. 300 a pipe all summer. She don't say if you fuck with my come up.
To the club.
Yeah,